Greetings, greetings, humanity, and welcome to Channel Other Doc. Chother I don't know what this is. Welcome to Channel Other Doc. I'm Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and today we are playing a one-shot of Monster of the Week, a game of supernatural monster hunting by Michael Sands that is powered by the Apocalypse. I'm playing an investigator named Seamus, who also uses he/him pronouns, and the playbook is the Flake. We're going to go around and say hi to everyone and get them to introduce themselves before I toss things over to our keeper. So let us start with Cassiopeia. Hello.
Hi, I'm Cassiopeia, or Cass. I'm going to play Cynthia the Crooked. She's a fixer. Pronouns are she, her for Cynthia.
Awesome, awesome. And now let us head over to Sara. Hello.
Hello, I am Sara. I use she, her pronouns. Tonight I will be playing Claire the Monstrous, who also uses she, her pronouns.
Excellent, excellent. And now let us head over to James, or Jimbeaux. Hello.
Hey, I'm Jimbeaux. I use he, him pronouns. I will be playing Nick, the Chosen, who also uses he, him pronouns. He's kind of a biker punk that's a little in over his head, but destiny is behind him.
Oh, hey. Thank you for the sub. Much appreciated. Brian, before I toss things over to you, do you want me to go ahead and do the listing of safety tools and content warning and all that?
Yes, the forms must be obeyed.
The forms shall be obeyed. All right. Like we do with other games on this channel, we are using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else. So hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it. If we're moving into a difficult topic, or we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. And we also do have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game. Mental health is always more important. I've got a quick list of content warnings. This game has the potential for graphic violence and use of firearms and discussions of supernatural themes, horror tropes, death, pursuit by supernatural beings, and bodily injury. That's going to come up in chat every now and then. If you want to see it, you can type !MOTWCW, and that will bring that up, that content warning. And I think that those are all the things that I have on my list. And so I shall now hand things over to our keeper, Brian. Hello.
Hello, I'm Brian. I also use he, him pronouns, and I'm playing the monster and a whole bunch of other stuff. You will later on learn what pronouns the monster uses. That is not for me to reveal right now. I do have a couple of things to discuss. First off, I wanted to say thanks to Jim for hosting this. And thanks to all of you for playing this. I'm really excited. We've had some discussion on Discord already, so everyone's already made their characters, and it's as you've already heard, this is going to be a really good mix of hunters. I think this should be a lot of fun. So also thanks to all of you in Chatland for viewing this, or if you're watching this on YouTube later. This is a one-shot, so a couple of things are different. We are starting with fewer luck points than we would if we were just starting a campaign. So that's the only major difference. However, we are also starting not quite in medias res, but we are starting later into the adventure than we would normally start. Normally, if this were like a short campaign, I would have all of you discovering a little more slowly what's going on. But we're going to begin with you already having figured out what's going on and where it's happening. and we can retroactively determine how each of you learned about it and figured it out. We're going to have you arriving at the location. So let's begin.
Get in, nerds. We're going to the mall.
That's it, man. And speaking of the mall in question is Silvergate Mall, and it is on the outskirts of the city all of you live in. And
I mean, it's Silvergate Mall, so we're in Silvergate. It's easy.
Yes. And so it is a mall that you are in some manner familiar with. You can decide how familiar each of you is with it, but it's been around for a while. It had a slump in the about 10 years ago. But as of about 5 years ago, it's sort of recharged and is moving into sort of early 90s mode as far as the popularity and the crowds that you're going to find there. Which means that on a given weekend, it's pretty crowded, and even on weeknights, it's got a fair amount of traffic in it. So I won't describe them all in detail because it's a big mall, and all of you have seen malls. But it's I will give you a little bit of information about it. It's pretty big. It's 3 stories. It's got the things that you would expect in a mall. It's got the big anchor stores that are department stores. It's got a pretty big movie theater, a couple of play areas for kids. Of course, there's a GNC. Let's see what else is in the mall. Jewelry stores, the stuff you expect to see in a mall. One of those Thomas Kincaid places, things like that. So let's see. One thing that we did not discuss, and I think we need to figure out is now, Nick, I'm assuming that you've got a motorcycle. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's your main mode of transportation. But someone in the group, and I feel like it's going to have to be Cynthia, has a van because Claire's a ghost. And not that a ghost can't have a van, but I'm not even sure Claire can drive. So Claire's, I'm not going to tell you how to play your character, but I'm just, throwing it out there. Claire doesn't seem like a van kind of person.
No, she's not.
So the van either belongs to Cynthia or Jim. I forgot your character's name.
Seamus.
Seamus, either
Seamus
Cynthia or Seamus. Thank you. But again,
well, Cynthia's definitely more of a sports car type person.
That's a fair point. Okay.
Yeah. I can have a van of some kind because I probably sometimes have to transport stuff.
Wait, are you're a college professor, aren't you?
Yeah, basically.
So it's a minivan.
Yeah, it's basically
No.
Yeah.
It's a station wagon. There we go.
Yeah.
I think it has to be a station wagon. Okay, fair enough. So, so each of you, by whatever means that you would meet up at the mall, has arrived at the parking lot of the mall. What you've been hearing, and again, through each of you has, you guys know each other. You've hunted monsters together. You have history with each other in various ways. And so each of you, for different reasons, kind of has your ear to the ground as far as supernatural stuff goes. And there have been disappearances at the mall. 3 of them that you're aware of. Cynthia, you've got friends on the force. It's a little more than that, and they're trying to keep it quiet. Right now, though, they are only disappearances. No one has yet figured out exactly what has happened to the people that have gone missing. No one's found any bodies. No one's like, the trail goes cold once it leaves the mall, which means that again, Cynthia, like I said, you've got people on the force that you are in various ways able to kind of keep track of things. So that right now no one has put these disappearances together. The mall's a big enough place, but something something's telling you that these are connected. And by the same token, Seamus, you also kind of get a sense, like once you started hearing about this, the manner in which the disappearances happened, by which I mean they were like just normally if there's a disappearance, you get there's some warning that it happened, but it's literally like they just winked out of existence. You can't find anything. And something about the pattern, or even in your case, maybe the lack of a pattern, is making you feel like, again, this is up your alley. This isn't just a thing for the cops to look at.
Yeah. So wait, so who's disappeared? I mean,
right now,
what's disappeared?
there have been it's all people, all humans.
Okay.
And no connections between the people. You've got one of them was a teenager. He was he was on the high school basketball team. Let's see. This is going to be during the summer, by the way. So he was just about to go to college, and he hasn't been seen for a couple of days. He's the I was going to say he's the most recent. He's not the most recent. The most recent is a guy that worked at the local sort of one of the kind of mom and pop convenience stores that was near the mall, and got a and then we've got 3 others, 2 of whom disappeared at the same time. It was a husband and wife, and that was a week ago. And then 3 days before that was an accountant. And this is the only person that worked for the mall that you know of that has disappeared. And he was, he just worked in, accounts receivable for the mall.
Okay. All right. So, week and a half ago, the accountant disappeared. A week ago, a husband and wife disappeared. And then 2 days ago, teen basketball player disappeared. Then most recently, that convenience store worker near the mall disappeared.
Yeah, that was about 6 hours ago. That's the one that Cynthia knows about that no one else does, but I'm assuming maybe you told your friends. So.
And these people all disappeared in the vicinity of the mall, as far as we know.
They were all, the last place any of them was seen alive was inside the mall.
Got it.
Different parts of the mall, by the way. One of them had gone to see a movie. The husband and wife were shopping for furniture. Not too sure about the basketball guy. He told his parents he was going to the mall, but that's the last anyone heard from him.
Okay. The last thing I want to ask about is if it's too early it might be too early. And I have the connect the dots move, so I'm wondering if I need to hold off until.
That's a good point. 2 of you have beginning of adventure moves. I think it's just 2 of you. Go ahead and roll those. And if you need help on the character sheet, let me know. Otherwise, the information should be in your. Let's see.
I haven't rolled in a Monster of the Week sheet in so long. I hope I remember how to do it.
And while we're doing this, I want to say shout out to Evil Hat for designing these sheets. I think they're great.
Ooh.
All right, so what do we got here? Okay. All right. So actually, Jimbeaux, yours is readings a failure, but that doesn't mean you don't learn anything. It just means what you learn is potentially bad for you. So good news and bad news. You learn some stuff. Maybe not the way you wanted to learn it. Okay, so let me check these out. And also, okay, so Jim Ryan, on the other hand, you, okay, so Seamus, what you've got is just a solid success. But in your
Yeah.
case, you're holding 3. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, I'm holding
Okay.
3, and
So
then I can ask these questions.
Very cool.
Do I do this? I guess do I hold and just as we progress, I will.
Yeah,
I will
as something shows up
Yeah.
that you want to ask a question about, remind me that it's from that list,
Gotcha.
and you will hit it. So the one that I need to address immediately, though, is our chosen. So what has happened here is our chosen is using Destiny's Plaything, which says at the beginning of each mystery, roll plus weird to see what is revealed about your immediate future. And let's see. And it says on a miss, something bad is going to happen to you, and that's true, but that doesn't mean, as I pointed out, doesn't mean you don't learn anything. As we discussed, your visions come to you as kind of snippets of things that are around you. Is that right?
Yeah.
So you've got a radio on your bike, right? So every station you turn it to is playing "Don't Fear the Reaper."
Oh, it's Tuesday. Gotcha.
And then also there's a you're from this town, you ride the roads a lot, you know what the billboards are supposed to look like, and one of them is different right now. It used to say it used to just be for like a car dealership, and it's still for a car dealership, except it's showing like a horrible auto crash that has happened, and one of the cars is on fire, and then people are running around in an attempt to get away from the conflagration.
Not gonna sell many that way.
And as this goes on, I will probably have 1 or 2 other things to be revealed to you a little bit later.
Could I request that at some point in the mall there's a store playing "Don't Fear the Reaper" as Muzak?
Oh yes. I think that's going to happen.
I'm just thinking of a Muzak version of that song. Oh, God.
I mean, if nothing else, we should have had a content warning for the music version of that song.
I know,
Sorry
right?
about that. I apologize.
Fair.
And add Muzak to the content plus.
And Muzak.
Now, like I said, we're cutting to the chase on some of this because we're doing a one shot. So all of you have met in the parking lot of the mall, and this actually will be a good time for each of you to describe your characters, since the 4 of you are meeting up before you head in, and also to discuss what, if any, plan of attack you've got, and things along those lines. So who wants to go first with the description?
I will.
All right. I can't wait to hear this one.
So Claire's the ghost, but she can interact with the material world, and also walk through walls and use a shotgun. But her like anything that she changes about her appearance, like, in terms of a haircut or hair color, automatically reverts back to the way it was when she died. So she's got like long blonde hair that she's currently pulled up into a French braid. And she's wearing jeans tucked into brown boots and a blue and a green shirt. And she's of average height, average weight. And if you look closely at her, you can kind of see through her. But only if you look closely, and like only when the light's right. So if it's sunny outside, then people kind of would like take double take at her, and then just
get a lot of people adjusting their glasses, trying to
like there's a smudge on the lens for a lot of people. But otherwise she looks human, and she's I think she arrived in the station wagon with Seamus, because despite being alive despite being around since the 1700s, she's not yet learned to drive. And whatever she tries, like the car goes haywire. But she could ride in them just fine. So she arrived with Seamus, and there's like, she's trying to figure out like, when do I pull out the shotgun from his trunk? And can I get arrested for it when I'm not really alive?
And the answer is no, of course not. I can get arrested for it.
Yes. Seamus can. Well, actually, maybe you might be able to be arrested. I don't know how long they're going to hold you.
No, that's fair.
That's the.
I can just walk out. Like, I don't need to break out or anything. I can just walk through the wall.
I feel like after enough times, the cops just come to a scene where Claire is and just like, nah, never mind.
Yeah. Like, I'm on a first name basis with the cops in this town, and they just like, screw it, not worth the effort.
Oh, it's the shotgun lady again. Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine there's the one cop that you maybe sort of respect, and you'll like go to a cell, and after an hour you're just like, okay, see ya, and they're like, okay, thanks for putting up with, thanks for just playing along.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Well, since you're rooted up with Seamus, what do you look like?
So yeah, Seamus is considerably more clean shaven than I am, but he's one of those folks that he tries to dress up well, but it will always come out kind of rumpled. He wears a nice rumpled suit, and usually will. And basically, but he grooms himself and all nicely. White guy, and he will essentially. So he's wearing a gray suit today, apparently, and he'll have sometimes a bag, bags or satchels or briefcases, things with him to transport stuff, which he does sometimes for people. When he has clients outside of his professorial duties, so there are various things like that. He's an occult professor. It's anthropology and he teaches things like anthropology and history and various other things that will fall under the heading of occult studies, parapsychology to an extent, so he typically doesn't seem to carry weapons much. He does have a .38 that he has a permit for, that he keeps concealed, but then aside from that, he has like access to a big flashlight and a butterfly knife, and that's it. So that's typically what you'll see him sort of running around. He is he is shall we say he gets interested. He gets very interested in things, in knowing things that he does not know, trying to find out things that he does not know. It's kind of a thing, because otherwise how can you educate the public aside from that? So he'll, that's basically he's kind of pulling his station wagon in. It's just sort of like, I think that the flutter's gone from the engine. So if you ever want to take another crack at this, I'm sure we can give it another shot. And once the parking lot empties out sometime.
Thank you.
If you want. I've got insurance. and that's him.
Gotcha. So, Cynthia, how do you arrive?
Cynthia arrives in her well-maintained 1980s Pontiac Firebird, where it's the black car with the big, I think it was orange Firebird on the hood.
And it has the flip up
Yep.
headlights? Hell
Yep.
yes. Okay, go on.
And Cynthia is in a very well-tailored suit with black shoes. She has very big, watchful brown eyes and long red hair. My face claim for everyone watching that I shared in the Discord is Florence from Florence and the Machine. Yes, and so she drives up in that Pontiac Firebird.
Nice. And so Nick, you are the last one to arrive, but only a few seconds after Cynthia, it looks like.
Yeah, Nick's got a very old but very well kept up motorcycle, something from the 60s. He is a guy in his late teens, early 20s, who is very desperately and not too poorly trying to give a 50s affect to himself. He's got a dark pompadour haircut. He wears a leather jacket, motorcycle boots, blue jeans. He's got a chain that kind of, it's obvious that he has it looped over his shoulder underneath the jacket, but it still hangs a little bit below the jacket. He's got the kind of stubble that comes from someone who's desperately trying to grow facial hair, but their body just won't support it. And to the very, very observant, he has a very, very slight family resemblance to Claire.
Oh.
But only to the very, very observant. And yeah, pulls up on his motorcycle, kicks the stand down, and just starts like walking with a purpose towards the rest of the group.
So it's early evening. The mall is still open for a few hours. It's a Thursday, which means you've got a moderate number of people. You could tell from the how many cars are in the parking lot. You got a moderate number of people inside, but it's not going to be super crowded. So what are you all doing once you get together?
Hey, Professor.
Hey, Nick. I presume that everything's okay.
I mean,
various things.
I mean, radio's been playing nothing but "Don't Fear the Reaper," no matter what station I put it on.
Well, it is Tuesday.
I think that's a great sign, actually.
Yeah, maybe. Like, you know what's going on here? Because, like, I heard a couple people vanished, and, you guys are a lot better at figuring that stuff out than I am.
Cynthia, didn't you say that there was someone else that this just happened to?
Yeah, someone I know was telling me that there was a kid that works down at the convenience store was the most recent, and that was only a couple hours ago now.
That would explain it. I was thinking about stopping by there for to try to grab us some coffee, but they looked as though there was shall we say a little bit of a frenzy of activity over there, of the usual of the various law enforcement type. So
I got like 2-for-1 Slurpees there today too.
Yeah. That'd do it too.
That's probably why McMahon's there.
You think maybe like you could talk to the cops or look at the video, like because they got to have surveillance there, right?
Yeah, how good it is another story.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've all been, like I said, you're all familiar enough with the mall. You know they have security guards.
Yeah.
You assume they have a security office, although even Cynthia has probably never ended up in the security office. She's too good.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I suppose we could do that.
And for that matter, now that I think about it, given the fact that each of you is a rather observant person, you know they have cameras all over the mall. So that's an excellent point.
I haven't walked through the mall and placed every camera. No.
No.
Absolutely not.
And I think Seamus will just sort of lean over towards Cynthia. So do you want to go in and chat with them, or shall I? And I will say briefly, probably no one wants Seamus to go and talk to them, because something definitive will happen one way or the other, but probably nothing subtle.
Cynthia's like, as soon as Seamus is all, do you want to go talk to him or you want me to do it? And she's just like, no, darling, I'll take care of it.
All right.
You remember October? I remember October.
I remember October.
October. Well, they didn't have the right calendar. And so, if they had given us the right calendar, then we actually would have been able to be in the right spot when the ritual started, and everything would have been fine. Alas, they did not give us the right calendar. Did not give me the right calendar when I asked. But sometimes folks will just sort of be what is the word? Just contrary. He says leaning back, crossing his arms, smiling.
Is Cynthia going to do this talking by herself? And if so, what are the rest of you doing while Cynthia's up to that?
How far away is the convenience store? Like, is it just like within eyesight, or?
Actually, yeah, from where you parked, you can see it from here. I mean, you know how mall parking lots are.
Oh yeah.
It's way over there, but you can see it.
And are there still like cop cars with flashing lights outside of it, or?
No, they aren't there. In fact, as far as you know, the disappearance happened in the mall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so he worked at the convenience store and was going to the mall and then just didn't come back.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. Sorry, I drifted in the wrong direction there.
But I'm sorry, to answer your question though, yes, there is a cop car out there. And other employees are talking to the cop as if reporting this.
Okay.
Like, I could pick up like a couple of Slurpees for people and like just listen in.
Yeah.
If people want that. I mean, anyone want a Slurpee?
I do.
It's 2 for 1.
Blue raspberry, please.
Blue raspberry. Gotcha. So Nick's gonna head over that way.
Okay, good call. All right, so you're heading to the Quickie Mart.
Just very briefly, just grasp, if you'll permit it, grasp Nick by the shoulder. As Nick is heading in that direction, we'll just say, "Coffee, please, if you would."
Black.
Right,
black, yes.
Okay.
Black until they make a darker beverage.
Yes. Fanta black if they have it.
Fanta black coffee. That's the one. Nice. Okay, got it. So Cynthia's heading to Cynthia, specifically, where are you heading?
Well, let's see. We've mentioned multiple times it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Johnny works security Tuesday, and you know, Johnny likes me. I probably can get in if I talk to Johnny.
All right, fair point. Okay, yeah. So, are you trying to get into the security office? Not a problem. Okay, so you're heading there, and yeah, you expect you'll see Johnny in the office. Okay, got it. So you're walking there. So, what are the professor and the ghost doing? Which is now a TV show I want to make.
Yeah.
Except I have to go back in time to like 1982. But
so Claire is going to go into the mall, and if you look very closely, her feet don't actually touch the ground. But she's making the appearance of walking anyway, and just like she's had 200 years to get used to this form, and so she's like learned that floating through parking lots is generally commotion causing. So she mimes walking.
she has practiced the dark art of pantomime.
Yeah. But only if you look closely, like it's only just like a couple of millimeters off the ground. And do we know where these people disappeared from? Like what stores?
You know the last places they were seen.
Okay.
So the husband and wife were in
The furniture store.
Yeah,
right?
last place they were seen was furniture store. Actually, you don't know the last place the high school kid was seen. He was the last anyone knows is he told his parents he was going to the mall. That's all you got on him.
Okay.
And then the accountant was actually in his office the last time anyone saw him alive, and he was just heading to the food court.
Okay. So I'll turn to Seamus and say, furniture store?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. I'm just trying to figure out a way to triangulate all of this, but there doesn't seem to be any sort of thing holding it together. We can figure that out if we take a look around.
Yeah, and in fact, good news is this is a mall. You can look at the directory, and like you can literally stick a, like put your fingers on the last places any of these people were seen, but none of them line up.
Yeah.
None of them produce anything interesting. Like, I don't know, a pentacle. Nothing helpful like that. You're not seeing anything that I'm just going to go out on a limb here and guess a couple of things Seamus might be looking for, and none of them are like giving you any kind of indication of a pattern right now. Now, having said that, the thing that you don't know is exactly where they were when they disappeared. You just know the last time they were seen. So that could give you some different information.
I do have a question I want to throw in from Connect the Dots, but I don't know if it's too early to do that based on what we have.
Okay, and I'm not going to allow you to waste a question. So if you ask a question and there is no good answer for it, I'm not going to make you take the hold off. So go ahead.
So it's like it depends on if we have enough. I figure we probably have to go and look at a thing first, but I'm trying to tee up when and where will the next critical event occur,
Gotcha.
based on what we know of the locations.
Hold on to that. I know that's what you're looking for, and then I will let you know when you've got what you need to figure it out.
Gotcha.
I like that a lot. Okay. So the two of you are going shopping for furniture. Apparently, this is one of those like restoration hardware kind of furniture stores. So it's relatively fancy, kind of pricey.
So it's very frilly. The people are wearing wigs. Wrong restoration.
Exactly.
Sorry. No.
Yeah. But all of it is made to look like it's from like earlier times, which means that Claire, some of the stuff in here might be what was in your house when you were alive. Like some of it was full on 18th century stuff. So and honestly, the restorations are not that bad.
Who disappeared in here? Was it the husband and wife, or was it
Husband and wife.
Yeah, I got it.
We're last seen in here. So and as you're entering that, I'll get back to you because Nick has just arrived at the Quickie Mart. And so what are you doing besides getting Slurpees and coffee? Just kind of
trying to just sort of eavesdrop on
Okay.
what the cops are talking to the clerks about.
That's pretty easy to do because I mean they are doing it. I mean, you know, they're speaking in relatively hushed tones, but it's not a big place. So that means you can spend extra time trying to figure out exactly which Slurpee you want, and
Right,
and
right.
maybe this cup's the wrong size, and
Mhm.
do all of that. Um, a lot of what you get is sort of what you would expect. But one of the employees says, if you ask me, he skipped town. And the cop says, why? What makes you think that? In his typical cop manner. And the employee, whom you can see that she's the assistant manager from her name tag. She says, I mean, he just won the lottery and he got his check yesterday. So I don't know what happened, but I was surprised he showed up for work this morning.
And just as a bystander, like Nick says, "You won the lottery?"
And the assistant manager says, like she looks surprised for a second, and then she says, "He bought the ticket at a different gas station."
Sure, but I mean, like, that's too
As if she
bad.
realizes she's talking to a cop, and the cop, of course, does not give a damn. But
Huh. Well, lucky him, I guess.
yeah, I think he. She looks back at the cop. I think you need to check the airport. I don't think he went to the mall.
And with that little tidbit, Nick is going to carry drinks back to his friends.
And speaking of Nick's friends, Cynthia, you have just arrived at the security office because those parts of the mall are not officially open to the public, but it's not like the door's locked. So you can just go back into the office area.
It just Cynthia's used to walking everywhere like she's in charge, and people let her do it.
Yep.
She is polite enough though that she like knocks on the door frame before she enters when she sees like Johnny's back or whatever.
So yeah, Johnny turns around. He looks through the window and recognizes you. And this door, by the way, is locked, which he unlocks and then says, "Cynthia, been a while."
Oh, I'm so busy lately, but listen, Johnny, I know this is a little unorthodox, but is there any way I could get a look at the security tapes for those disappearances?
He says, I mean, yeah, but why?
I just want to make sure that the mall is safe for my clients and myself. And, I do have friends. Johnny, you work here.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I don't want to know all the answers to this, do I?
Probably not.
Huh. Except this is different from when I don't want to know all the answers because I kind of have to know some of the answers if I'm going to do my job. So maybe if you could tell me something that might help me with this, because I kind of need this job and I don't want to lose it. And people are disappearing on my watch, and that ain't good.
Well, unfortunately, I don't have a lot to go on yet, but that's why I need to check out those tapes. And I promise you, and she doesn't put her hand behind her back and cross her fingers. She doesn't. Like, anyone watching sees her hand like start to move, and then she very purposefully like flattens it out against her hip. It's like, no, we're gonna do this this is Johnny. We're gonna play this straight for Johnny.
Fair enough.
And she's like, but when I know something that'll help you, I will let you know. Have I ever steered you wrong before?
Yes, you have. But
okay, well, besides that time,
I mean,
October.
You did get me that other thing. You were straight with me on that one.
And October was just a fiasco all around.
We don't talk about October, Cynthia. We're not doing that. As far as I can tell, for that year, my calendar skipped that whole month. So yeah, look, my boss is going to be here in about an hour, and that would be a bad time for her to see you looking at the tapes. But she's going to be gone in 2 hours. Like gone, actually off shift. Come back then?
Can do.
All right. Never mind. I had some other questions, but this is neither the time nor the place. I will see you in 2 hours.
Thanks, darling. And then she shuts the door for him.
So back to the furniture store. What are you guys doing?
I am quietly judging the quality of the furniture, and my brother would never have done this. No, why would you put that accent there? That's just bullshit. And at the same time, looking around the store to see if there is anything out of place or unusual that could indicate why or when or how these people disappeared, either from this location or just outside of it.
Gotcha. And Seamus, how about you?
So I am I am now doing probably something I was encouraged not to do, and that is I am looking for an authority figure somewhere in the furniture store to question about the disappearance.
Fair enough.
And that basically, I'm going for my this may not. By and large, I'm going to be trying to go for this move that I took, which is contrary. Basically, when you seek out and receive someone's honest advice on the best course of action for you, and then do something else instead, you mark experience. And then if you do exactly the opposite of their advice, you also take +1 ongoing on any moves you make pursuing that course. So
okay.
I don't know.
Give yourself a +1 if you have to make any rolls on this.
Excellent.
And you probably will. Okay, so
I'm going to look for whoever might be in charge here, and try to have a little chat with them about the disappearance in the store.
There's an obvious manager type, and she is she's in her early 40s. Name tag says her name is Jean, and she is dressed like, in your typical sort of couple of steps above business casual.
Yeah.
And is basically, she has a clipboard, and she is looks like she's doing some sort of inventory work in one of the corners.
Yeah. Hello there.
May I help you?
Yes, absolutely. I think you definitely can. Jean, is it?
Yes. And you are?
Great name. Seamus Brooks. I'm doing a bit of research, looking into certain things. I do a certain degree of, shall we say, part of one of my areas of study is is in the sort of the broader field of modern anthropology. I just sort of will look around at recent stories of things that have happened and try to determine connections between them. I have noted that in this very store, but a week ago that a couple, and I probably will give their names. When I
Yes,
say
which I
this.
have not provided, but you will. You tell them what they are. You have the names, and if they become important later, I will tell you them. But right
excellent.
now.
Okay, and these folks were perusing the furniture in this very store from all reports when they went missing, and I was just wondering if anything interesting or unusual had been seen as a result. You have quite the collection here. In fact, some of these are very good replicas.
Yes, we pride ourselves on that. But you're asking about. I mean, yes.
I was just wondering if there was anything that you happened to see, or that you know anyone who happened to be on duty at that time who might have seen, who might have caught sight of them, or noted when they were here. Did anyone help them? That manner of thing.
I was working that day. I only remember that they were here because I later learned they went missing. You're not with the police? It's not quite a question.
Oh, goodness, not at all. No, not at all. I'm, no, I'm, if anything, with Silvergate University.
Ah, I see.
I consult on different matters sometimes.
Very good. Well, I mean, I can tell you that they left here and were headed that way. She points out to the, to the exit and towards the left. But there was also something.
Hmm? Oh, don't be shy. It's perfectly fine.
Well, it may not be related, but several items did go missing.
Around the same time.
We don't usually have much of an issue with shoplifters, but perhaps, well, the most unusual thing is the thing that went missing was a chair.
Hmm.
And she points at like one of these overstuffed chairs.
This is like a really big chair? Or
It's a big chair, yeah.
Well, I'd say they probably would have had a heck of a time trying to get it out that door unnoticed.
Yes. Usually if someone steals something from us, it's from the small things over here.
I assume you've reviewed you've reviewed security tapes and things of that nature, right?
Yes. Except there was some sort of a problem.
Oh, really?
Yes, there's some missing footage.
You strike me as someone who has a suspicion about that. There's something, yes. What do you think happened?
I don't know.
Hmm?
I mean...
The footage from that exact time, before the footage, the chair is there. After the footage, the chair is gone? Is that what we've got
about an
going
hour,
on?
but the chair clearly went missing during that hour.
Yeah.
The camera sweeps past, the chair is there. There's a skip in the tape. The camera sweeps past, the chair is not there.
Interesting. What's the history of these particular chairs? Are these also replicas?
Well, yes. We don't have actual antiques here.
No, sadly no. But what was it? What were they replicas? These particular ones. What are these replicas of again?
It matched that one, and the one she's showing you is it's like a high-backed chair, overstuffed leather, exactly the sort of thing that you would see in, say, a Victorian library. If you went to visit Sherlock Holmes, he might be in it. One of those.
Yeah. Oh, yes. The imitation Loomises. I see there, yes. So... Huh. Did you have anyone... do you happen to know if they were helped by anyone who showed any particular interest in these chairs? Anyone, anything like that?
No, they weren't even talking about the chairs. It's just two unusual things that happened around the same time.
Are we near the chairs while we're talking about this?
Yeah. She's you're just a few feet from.
Just like looking around the chairs, looking at to see how much dust they've collected, to see if people have been sitting in them or not, or that kind of thing. See if it's a thing where people have been.
Yeah, this is a
have they been moving? Are they on sale?
Yeah.
That's another good question. Are they trying to get rid of them?
That is a good question. No, they're full price.
So sorry, and does it dust or no dust?
Well, no dust, but that's not too surprising.
Isn't it 2%? Okay, again.
Yeah.
These chairs. How well do these chairs sell, if I may ask, Gene?
Well, I mean, I'd say we sell not many, to be honest. 1 or 2 a month, maybe.
I look at the price tag.
Let's say it's like $800.
$800. I'm like, you can get real Loomises for just a little bit more than that. You know that, right?
Yes, I know that.
Yeah, of course. All right, interesting. And there's simply stop by. So this footage also, does that encompass when they were here as well completely? It doesn't show them leaving out that door?
It doesn't show them on the footage. It doesn't show them on the tape at all.
Right, because that's the same period missing from the same period.
Yes.
I'm going to look and see. I'm going to try to note the positions of the cameras.
Okay. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to get back to Claire.
Yeah.
What have you been doing while he's been talking to the manager?
Besides muttering about how this is not the right hardware for this particular chair and style.
Oh, definitely not.
No, it's because she's lived since the 1700s and she's lived through all these periods of aesthetics, and she knows not to use those particular brass, fastenings on something and whatever.
Right.
And she has she clocks that Seamus has been talking about the chairs to Jean, and turns her focus to the area of the chairs. And do I have anything that can help with this? I don't think I do.
You may not, not with this specific thing, perhaps. Let me see.
I have unholy strength and I am incorporeal, so I can if walking through walls helps me out with this, sure. But
maybe, yeah. I will tell you one thing though. Because you are essentially made of protoplasm, you do have a sense of when odd things are around. Like when other ghosts are around, it's almost impossible for you not to sense it, just because of the vibrations that you're all giving off that are identical to each other. So what you're detecting right now, it's not a ghost, but it is similar to okay. I don't know if Claire can do this or not, and you'll tell me. But some ghosts are particularly good at changing their form, their shape, and some of them can get even change size and drastically change their appearance. The vibes you're getting off of where that chair used to be, they've moved some other stuff into that blank spot now. But the vibes you're getting are similar to when a ghost that is really good at changing form has done that. Except what you're detecting is not ghost energy, but it really feels similar.
Okay. So I get shapeshifter energy off of it.
Yeah,
okay.
something along those lines. Yeah.
Okay. Claire is not good at changing her appearance. She has tried to dye her hair both naturally and unnaturally. She's tried box dye, and she's just tried thinking really hard about it. and the most that it lasts is about 30 seconds before
Oh,
it
man.
reverts back
Okay.
to blonde.
And it just
So-
bam goes right back. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna cut back to Nick real quick. What are you up to?
Trying to find. I figure I have no idea where. Well, Cynthia went to the. I'm gonna try to button hook Cynthia.
Okay.
And let her know that cops were talking. Well, a cop was talking at the convenience store, and the guy who went missing just won the lottery, which seems a little coincidental. I don't know, maybe the other people who disappeared, oh, maybe this is like a wish granting thing. There's something here that grants wishes and then eats you after it grants your wish. Are those real? I mean, is that a thing?
I haven't personally heard of anything like that, but I mean, you know the phrase "deal with the devil," don't you?
Yeah, I know it a little too well, thanks. Oh, you
and me
think that
both.
this is like a devil?
I don't necessarily think that. I'm just
Then
to
why'd you bring
answer
that
your
up?
question, because you asked a question about this thing, and the closest analogy I had was this other thing.
Oh, okay. Do you know where everyone else went? Because I got Slurpees and coffee. Oh, and did you find out anything?
I was told when we could go back and watch the tapes without having to worry about any other trouble.
Cool.
As far as where the other two, the ghost and the professor went, if I had to guess, I would say the furniture store.
Let's head over there. Well, I'm gonna head over. I mean, you want to should we head over there?
That depends. Do you have a cherry Slurpee for me?
I mean, sure.
Then yes, let's go.
Okay.
And she just grabs the cherry Slurpee out of what I'm assuming is the multi-drink
Yeah,
container
big
thing.
drink holder. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so
the
while they're heading towards the furniture store, let's get back to the furniture store people. Are you guys doing anything else in the furniture store or around the furniture store or other prepositions involving the furniture store?
Is Claire? I will release the poor manager that I have been talking to nonstop, and I will check in with Claire to see if she's noticed anything.
I kind of drag Seamus aside so that we're not talking in the middle of the furniture store, because I imagine that while it is expensive furniture, it's not empty of a store.
Yeah, there are other customers here. That's true.
Yeah, there's people who are not familiar with the specifics of that era and who are willing to pay $800 for a freaking chair.
You should go and hide among the chaise lounges.
Take some time.
And say, so I you know when that ghost showed up and we had to send it back
Oh yes,
where it came from? So
quite vividly.
Yeah. So I get energy vibes when it comes to supernatural stuff, and I don't get ghost vibes from this, so that's good. But
Oh yes, good. Yes.
I do I'm getting a little shapeshifter-y vibe out of the place where the chair once was.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I
So
can't narrow it down any further than that, but
right, but it's an incursion from that exact spot. Now, if they actually were seen leaving, presuming that Jean is telling us the truth, then maybe they interacted with the chair and then they left and something happened. Hang on, let me see. I'm going to just sort of start looking at that spot. I'm wondering if my question is coming into play yet, by the way. Ryan, I cannot hear you.
Yes, it is on the verge. I'll tell you
On
that.
the verge.
It is.
All right.
Yes.
And so while we're sort of, I'm not going to just dash off until and if Claire has more that she wants to say covertly before I go back and examine that spot. But
$800 for a chair is a ripoff.
well, certainly for those, yes, absolutely. They're not even real Loomises.
No.
Yeah, they've got some decent Bergeret knockoffs, but it's still. He just sort of shakes his head. Still, what can you do? It's a pity they don't have some of some of those models that executions were done in. Those would actually have some interesting resonance. But you work with what you've got, and he'll slowly sort of head over, and he's going to examine that spot and just sort of he's going to do math. Basically, he's got the It's unfortunate that there's no kiosk right here with the mall map on it. But I think what I'm going to do is, so this will involve going back and forth from the spot to the nearest kiosk, which hopefully is not far from the entrance to this store.
Yeah. I mean, they're all over the place. It's easy to find.
So it's like, look at the spot, note some things down, note some coordinates. He's probably got an app or something, and he's like, he at this point he's pulled out a couple of pieces of colored chalk. So he takes a piece of colored chalk and he crouches down to underneath where the chair was, and then he makes a big X on the floor, and then he's going to stamp out a number of paces over to he's going to head over to the kiosk, and he's going to start drawing on the kiosk map, just different spots, sort of starts trying to figure out if there's anything that those specific coordinates are providing us with. Muted. You're muted again.
Darn it. So at this point, I will get back to you on that one. Because Nick and Cynthia, beverages in hand, are moving towards the vicinity of the furniture store. Good news is the kiosk that you are drawing on is on their path, so eventually you will get to them. However, Cynthia, you see someone you recognize. You're on the second level currently, and up on the third floor, you would swear that that's Miri. You know, your old partner. She hasn't seen you yet.
Being that we're in a mall, as I spot her and casually, without acting normal, because I don't want it to draw attention, as we walk by one of the many sunglass huts. He just picks up a pair of oversized sunglasses as they're walking and puts them on.
It's the ultimate disguise.
Yep.
Very good.
Seeing Cynthia do this, Nick immediately pulls out his own shades and puts them on, assuming that's just something that they're doing right now.
Well, the two of you look exceptionally cool right now. I'll give you that. I mean, you already did, but man, the shades are selling it. To the best of your knowledge, she has not spotted you. She was walking. Oh, okay. Actually, you know her well. She's walking with that sense of purpose that tells you that she's going to go kick someone's ass right now. And
I mean, I kind of want to see that, but also I don't want her to see me. Shit.
But just FYI.
I think there's just enough where after she puts the shades on and she sees Nick just pull out his own sunglasses, she just kind of like elbows him slightly, like there might be some shit about to go down.
Okay. And Nick kind of surreptitiously reaches into his coat and loosens up the chain a little bit.
Nice.
But then sees sees Seamus and just mutters under his breath, "Oh my God, he's got the chalk out again."
This is the best part. You better not interrupt him. I want to see how far this goes.
Okay, just all right.
Tell you what. We'll intervene if it looks like he's about to get thrown out of either the store or the mall.
Okay.
All right. So yes, you're drawing on the thing. I'll get back to you on that one. Claire, what are you doing while Seamus is drawing on the kiosk?
I am testing out the chaise lounges. Just so like just to be somebody in the store that, you know, when Seamus is done with his
Sure.
chalk math, then he can be like, oh, let me go pick up my friend that I left in the furniture store, and
Fair enough.
have an excuse to walk back there. And do I see Cynthia and Nick at this point?
Yeah, you can see them approaching.
All right. I kind of wave Nick down to get my blue slushy Slurpee.
There you go.
Thank you. And it's a white chaise lounge that I'm on, and I just like sip it carefully. And
Very nice. So far, everything is being maintained.
yeah.
Oh, so like the guy who went missing from the convenience store, he just hit the lottery, like right before he vanished.
Really?
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
You find anything out here?
Kinda. So I first of all, there's like an hour of security footage missing, during which a chair, and I point to the remaining chair, which is,
You know those
freaking
aren't real
giant.
illnesses. Come on,
I know.
Cynthia would know. She's never been in
know.
that store, but she would know.
They look real. I mean,
Well, they're real chairs, they're just not real
Right.
illnesses.
what's okay.
But I kind of got shapeshifter energy off of where that chair used to be, and then Seamus went off with his chalk.
So like that ghost.
Yeah,
think-
but not.
You think maybe like the chair like ate them and then like walked away?
That's one theory.
Or maybe like the chair grants wishes and then eats people and then walks away?
Claire just drinks her Slurpee, not knowing how to respond to that.
Do you drink the Slurpee slowly, and do you look right at Cynthia like, did he really ask that?
Yeah.
There's just like that very subtle like yes nod.
Okay.
Hang on, I'm making notes. Wish granting chair. Got it. Okay. So hang on. Yeah, so while you guys are discussing that, whoops, sorry. Actually, I am making a note right now. One moment. Okay. So now, yeah, Seamus. So you are
Yes.
attempting through some sort of divination, as it were.
I'm just sort of trying to triangulate,
Yeah, exactly.
figure out
This
the...
is math, damn it. This is science.
Yeah.
You're trying to figure out exactly how. I mean, really, you're trying to predict where the next one's coming, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So it's the thing where I'm spending behold, if at all possible.
Yeah. Actually, you believe that it's going to be in a specific corner of the food court.
Ah. Okay. So I just sort of am looking, and I'm just
And
kind of...
according to the map, it's a restaurant called Chicken Hut.
Ah. I just sort of look, and I'm just sort of been more furiously. I don't know if they can probably see me from the furniture store.
Oh.
As just sort of see more furiously. I'm like, ah! Ha! And I just sort of look, I turn, and I point at the Chicken Hut. I look and I turn and I look, I see them across back in the over in the furniture store, and I just sort of point at the Chicken Hut and ha!
He hit.
I nod.
Ah. Usually
Use
we
your
can
words.
call him.
I'll start striding up. The Chicken Hut. That's the most likely next target. If this spot gave me just enough that I think this holding up, if this follows, the rules, it depends, because a lot of all I've got to go on some of these things is the Hermes Trismegistus stuff, so it's not exactly reliable completely, but you have to figure, you sort of figure what you can. Do you have, he says, points to Nick, do you have what I need?
Oh, the coffee. Yeah, here you go.
Ah, the coffee of darkness, he says, taking it. But yes, it would appear that the next target is likely to be the Chicken Hut around that corner of the food court.
So
that's where the next thing's probably going to happen.
Stake the place out, maybe? I'd normally say we should, chicken out, but that would mean running away. So, can you stake out a Chicken Hut?
It depends on if that goes against their branding, I expect.
We don't have to tell them.
That's fair. I don't know, sometimes even, actually, if we want to, wait a minute. That's not a terrible idea. If we want to, let's say, for example, that there is some entity or other is causing things and people to vanish in specific locations. At least some form of, one might call it, I guess, some folks would call it sympathetic magic, but if we want to get its attention, we do some sort of act, at least, of temporal desecration. Just simply say, for example, going over to where they're selling those slabs of steak on a stick, if they still have that store here. I can't remember, it's been a while. But taking some of those over to the Chicken Hut, that might garner some of their attention, if they're that kind of entity. Hard to say. I don't really know exactly what we're dealing with here yet.
So, okay, I got a theory. Okay, so...
I can't wait to hear this.
Well, that's good, because I'm going to tell it to you.
Excellent. I am brimming with anticipation.
Okay, so, the guy from the convenience store won the lottery and then vanished.
Really?
And then these people came in shopping and a chair vanished. And then they vanished.
Yes.
What if it's like the spirit of capitalism? You want money and you want things and it just devours you.
I hate to break this to you, but the spirit of capitalism has already done that.
Wait, when? I'm still here.
I mean,
right?
it's everywhere, really. That's why these chairs are $800. I'm just saying.
That's really pricey for a chair.
It is, isn't it? Especially if it's not a real Loomis. I was telling you, you can almost get a real Loomis for this much. Oh,
well. Okay.
But, there might be some sort of, I suppose there might be some sort of entity that would do something like that if it's, you get gives you what you want and then it takes you. It's a price. I don't know, all manner of things that could do that, maybe. We don't usually see them on this side of the veil, from what I understand, from what I've heard.
Maybe they'll be at the chicken place.
Maybe.
Maybe, hey, one of us could go up and order some chicken, and then we might get what we want, and then the thing would come after us.
I think Cynthia's hand just goes to Nick's shoulder, like, that's a good plan. Here's a couple dollars.
Okay. I hear they have good waffle fries.
I mean, that's the whole reason to go. The chicken's average at best.
Yeah. Right. Well, I'm going to go order some waffle fries. You guys watch my back, okay?
Brave lad.
Nick's having a good day. He's got Slurpee, he's got waffle fries. He got to look cool with his sunglasses.
So far, nothing's tried to eat his face. This is great. This is much better than that time with the vampire.
Much better than October.
Yeah, much better than October.
I think as Nick walks towards the chicken hut, like, and Cynthia only gave him like a couple of dollars, right? So most of that's going to have to be paid for out of his own pocket.
Right.
Cynthia's like, here's my loose change.
Cynthia was supplementing. Yeah.
Right. But then she turns to Claire with a crisp $20 bill between her fingers and just like, how long until something ridiculous happens to him at the chicken hut?
I give it 2 minutes.
All right, if it's within those 2 minutes, this $20 is yours, Claire.
All right.
Gotcha. All right. So while Nick is heading towards Chicken Hut, let's see. I think I know what Claire and Cynthia are doing. How about Seamus, what are you doing? If anything, I'm just making sure.
I've got Nick's back. I'm watching.
You're doing what Nick asked you to do. That's good.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm watching too, just maybe not the way he wanted.
Yeah.
I'm. Well, don't get me wrong. I'm watching amused as hell, but I am basically just following along. But I'm not coming in. I'm keeping enough of a distance that I can see what's happening, and just preparing to do something if I need to try to help. What, I have no idea. But
yeah. Okay, fair enough. All right, so yeah, Nick, you're so Chicken Hut is one of those. Like I said, it's in the food court, so it doesn't have its own tables or anything. It's literally just how food courts are. So you approach the Chicken Hut. It's got its festive red and white logos all over the place, and yeah, what do? You're at the counter.
I think that Nick, by the time he gets to the counter, he's been thinking far too much about the waffle fries and less about what could actually be going wrong.
So, okay.
So he's somewhat, in his own milieu, he flirts with whoever's at the counter,
Fair
orders
point.
some waffle fries, and realizes that he's going to have to pay a few bucks of his own for it. But
yeah, that happened. That happens. Like, yeah, that's definitely the third thing that happened.
Yes.
But yeah, actually, person at the counter, you think the flirting is working? They clearly think you're cute. Are you still wearing the shades?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's working. Yeah, it's working great. And in fact, you get twice the amount of fries that you paid for.
See? Maybe this is what the professor was thinking of. Wait, no, I'm getting what I wanted. No, this is definitely bad. Okay, I'm gonna have to be really vigilant as I eat my waffle fries.
So speaking of eating the waffle fries, Are you heading to a table to like?
Yeah. Oh,
really...
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sitting down in a. I am purposefully sitting at a table that has enough space that should my companions want to join me, they
Fair
can.
point. Okay, good.
And
All right.
I've got my own Slurpee, and I've got my waffle fries, and I'm watching vigilantly as I eat.
Gotcha. Specifically watching Chicken Hut.
Yes.
Is that you're facing Chicken Hut? Okay, good.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right. Well, you're eating your fries. They are quite good. And you see someone. Yeah, since you're watching vigilantly, actually, you do catch this. Okay, so you've got the setup where you've got the registers on the counter, and then behind them are the slots that they put the food in, so that they can grab it and turn it around and give it to you. So you can see back into the kitchen pretty clearly. And the first thing that you see, because everyone's wearing the Chicken Hut uniform, except one guy. And what he's wearing, first off, he's huge. He's just this like linebacker-sized South Asian guy. And he is wearing a tracksuit that costs more than some tuxedos. White and gold tracksuit. And he is talking to one of the people back there. You're too far away to hear what he's saying, though.
Okay.
But he does stand out as thing that does not belong in the kitchen. He is dressed far too well to be employed by Chicken Hut.
Interesting.
And so the rest of you currently see, oh, by the way, a couple of minutes have passed and nothing particularly odd has happened, I will tell you guys. And other than that, yeah, you just see, yeah, you see your buddy Nick seemingly just enjoying his fries at a table.
Kind of look over my shoulder at the rest of the gang and kind of like cock my head towards the Chicken Hut to try to imply to them that there may be something going on there.
Well, he bought us all fries. We should,
Yeah.
we should go over there.
No, my fries.
I mean, Cynthia's gonna just, no matter who paid for it, Cynthia's gonna do the thing where she takes the one fry it's hers now,
Yeah.
Drag it in the ketchup, and doesn't matter who paid for it. That fry is hers.
No, that's classic Cynthia. All right, fair enough. What are the rest of you doing?
I sit on the same side of the table as Nick so that I have a direct eye line into the Chicken Hut. And I have not decided how ghost digestion works. So I pick out a fry as well and wash it down with a blue raspberry smoothie.
Yeah, because you still got your smoothie.
Ghost here.
Yeah.
Or Slurpee.
Those Slurpees are big. You guys are gonna be working on those for a while.
I would like to point out that I did not spill any on the white chaise lounge,
which is quite impressive given the fact that you could have just if you're not concentrating, you are intangible. So.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
I'm sort of standing behind Nick.
Okay.
And I'm looking at the if I can see them, I'm looking at the gentleman you described.
Yeah.
And just sort of look over it. Does it look like I know we can't hear them, but does it look like does he look like he's telling the employees what to do, that kind of thing? Or is it?
No, he's talking to one particular employee that you can't see because they're on the other side of him and he takes up a lot of space. So whoever he's talking to, let me see. No, this feels more like he's doing some sort of business transaction rather than instructing anyone in anything. Like maybe some. If you had to guess, maybe some kind of negotiation.
So the girl at the register there, that's Darla. She's real nice. I figure I can get her number later. But I don't know who that big guy in there is. He doesn't look like he works there. I mean, I'm not saying that they couldn't.
He might be the owner.
Oh yeah, that's possible. Maybe he's getting what he wants. Maybe if he's the owner, maybe he's like empowered by the spirit of capitalism.
Well, I don't know. What do you think? Should maybe one of us just go over there and ask him? Or is that
just
sort of pauses for a
look
second?
over at,
or is that too much?
Just look over at Cynthia.
I was gonna say, what are the chances Cynthia recognizes, even if she's never had anything to do with this person? What if she? Is there any chance she would recognize him from like looks and reputation or anything like that?
That is an excellent question. Okay. There is a guy that people like you sometimes hire to be muscle that does fit this description. And if he's not that guy, he's certainly acting like one of those guys.
Okay.
Whatever's going on. Oh, by the way, if it is this guy, he's extraordinarily dangerous. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
But, well, actually, even if he's not that guy, if he's that type of guy, you personally know that you point that guy at people. You don't, you don't get in front of that guy. Whatever's going on, let's see, hang on. Cynthia and Nick, you both notice something change hands, even from this distance, and as surreptitiously as they were trying to do it, both of you recognize the move. Something changed hands in both directions. It's the drug deal move, but you don't think this is drugs. And then he seemingly at random pushes one of the employees off, just shoves one of the employees off to the side, and then heads further into the kitchen.
That ain't good.
I mean, we don't really know what happened, right? I mean, deals go down all the time. It's no big deal.
You don't think we should go and find out from them what happened?
The professor said this was what was going down.
I mean, if you think it's important, but what about that seems paranormal? Also, did you see that guy? You don't want to get in his way. Trust me.
Right. And Seamus will now begin striding directly in the direction of that guy.
And I think this would be a good time to take a break. When we come back, we will find out what happens when Seamus catches up with the guy. All right.
Fantastic.
Excellent. Thank you, folks. I've got an interview queued up, and so we'll go to that for a bit, and we shall return some point afterward. See you soon, folks. Welcome to the break. I have Josh Simons with us here today to chat a little bit. Greetings. How's it going?
Hey, it's pretty good. I'm happy to be here.
Cool. Excellent. You do rather a lot in the RPG space, and I thought I would have you on to have a little chat about how you got into this and all the various stuffs that you're doing.
Yeah.
So I guess just for folks who may not be familiar, why don't we start by just telling us a little bit about yourself, just in general?
Yeah, of course. My name is Josh. You can find me on the internet at Joshua M. Simons everywhere. I got into tabletop gaming a few years back. I actually got into it after I took a history of Middle Earth class in college, which included a significant portion of the curriculum was wargaming, as we replayed through and reenacted every major battle in Middle Earth history. And so I went from wargaming. I was like, this is really cool. There's a lot of fun tactics in here. How do I do more of this? And there was someone who was in part of that class who was like, hey, do you want to come play D&D with me and some friends? And I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I've heard of Dungeons and Dragons. Is it like wargaming? And I went to check it out. It was not like wargaming, except in like you're using the same figures and the same dice, but otherwise it's very different. But I fell in love. So
Wow.
I am one of those folks who, when I jump into something, I do it completely. And so between my first session of D&D and my second session of D&D, I had read like 3 whole books, the player's handbook, the DM's guide. I was like, I need to know everything about everything. And have not looked back since then. I've been doing this for a few years now, playing, DMing, GMing, various systems, a whole bunch of fun things. I started publishing. I've been publishing stuff on the DM's Guild for a little while, a couple years now. I've published with Mage Hand Press. I've got some other projects that are in the works that I can't talk about yet. I started streaming actual plays and charity games, especially. I do a lot of those. Charity is actually very important to me. I am on staff with Jasper's Game Day. If you're not familiar, Jasper's is a nonprofit organization that uses tabletop gaming to raise money for suicide awareness, which is something that is very important to me. Mental health being something that I have struggled with in the past and sometimes still do. I want to be sure that we're kind of using our hobby and our skills to do something good for folks who may be struggling. So that's a really high level overview of who I am and what I do. The short version is I am online 24/7.
Wow, that is awesome. That is awesome. And yeah, kudos to you for doing all of that work. That's just even just this, the sound of it is amazing. Just that the overview. I will have to say, I am still just flabbergasted at the fact that they have these Middle Earth history classes and things to offer. It's just because sort of back in the day, little secret, I'm old. So back in the day, while it wasn't unheard of for there to be Tolkien taught in classes, it's just sort of amazing how much of it there is, even interacting both with just Tolkien and then interacting with RPGs that you have happening in college courses and what have you. So it's very neat. It's very neat to hear that. Also, so it is interesting that you actually have a transition from wargaming into tabletop, because that's kind of that strikes me as a tad old school.
It is remarkably old school for someone who has gotten into gaming in the last decade. It feels very old school, even though it's not. But it just happens to be the course that I took. And I think it gives me some unique insight into certain design elements that we see in a lot of tabletop gaming, because I'm often thinking about, okay, how does this balance out in the big picture in terms of like this army versus that army, and how much do I want to stack the odds in this favor or that favor given the circumstances? And so I approach a lot of my D&D design in a very similar method, which, for better or for worse, is perhaps something that is unique in the space, and maybe rings back towards some of the design choices made in earlier editions. I don't know about that, but it is certainly something that I think has given me a unique perspective when I get into writing stuff these days with folks who don't have wargaming as kind of their introduction.
Well, it is interesting because it kind of sounds like you have just sort of I was going to say a sort of a foot on both paths, but there are many paths. So
there are a lot of paths. It's true. It's true. I'd like to think that I'm pretty progressive in terms of my general game design thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I certainly think there's value in learning from what's been done in the past and pulling the good things out of that.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I did want to ask a little bit about some of the games that you've put out that
Yeah.
you can talk about.
Absolutely.
And I see, let's see, you've got some stuff out for Mage Hand Press.
Yes.
Yeah. I see right
Yeah.
now I'm looking at the one that pops up for me right here is Dragon Flu Pandemic.
Yeah, that was the big one that I released with them right at the start of the COVID-19 quarantine. We pretty much, it's a bit of a wild story. I don't know if we've got enough time to tell it, so I'll give you the overview. But I met the folks at Mage Hand Press at a convention shortly before everything kind of kicked off in terms of quarantine happening. And through that time, I've been talking with the folks there at their team and had suggested like, hey, I've got an idea for an adventure module that we could sell, but then donate the proceeds, all the profits to a charity to kind of help folks through this difficult time when folks were out of work, right? This was very early, like everything was shut down. No one was going anywhere. So our thought was, hey, like all proceeds from this adventure, it's called Dragon Flu Pandemic, will go towards feeding America, food shelters, so that folks can put food on their table, even if they're not actively working. And so we got a small team together, but basically they were like, look, we don't have the resources right now. We're gearing up for a Kickstarter. So go, you have our blessing, have some resources, have all of our art assets, make the thing, do it. We've got your back. And so we did. And I spent a few weeks just like heads down every spare second I had, writing, editing, all this stuff, working with a phenomenal team. And it came out, I was very pleased with it. And we've raised a fair bit of money. I don't have the most up-to-date numbers as of right now because it's been a year and a half since we released it, but we raised a fair bit of money for food shelters, which was great. So that's the short version.
Oh no, that's awesome. That's great. You do a lot of work with charitable causes. Can you tell us a little bit about Jasper's Game Day?
Absolutely. So I kind of mentioned in my intro spiel that Jasper's uses tabletop gaming. Specifically, we put on like fundraising events. So before the pandemic, we did this like in conventions, like in-person conventions. We would sell tickets to tables. You could come play with celebrity GMs or come participate in like Adventures League stuff. And all proceeds from that would go towards local suicide hotline type of resource. Since the pandemic, we have turned that to online events. Every week or every year, we do a Jasper's Game Week event, which is a big week or sometimes a week plus a couple of days event where you can bid on seats with, some of the biggest names in tabletop gaming. And all the proceeds for all those charity games go towards suicide awareness resources. We help a number of suicide hotlines. We work with the American Association of Suicidology. There's a big network of resources like that to really just try to make a difference, not just kind of in our individual lives, but in everyone's lives. And I think a big part of what we do really is just talking about these topics that oftentimes in our society, it feels like it's taboo to say like, hey, I'm struggling right now, or things like that, where it just feels like we really have more work to do in that area to accept the fact that people struggle with mental health. It's perfectly normal. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's important for us to support one another when we're dealing with those difficult times, because it's a normal part of life that sometimes you're going to have a bad day or a bad week or a bad month, and we as a society really need to support one another, and we as a community, right, of people who share these similar hobbies, these love of storytelling together. It's really important for us to have each other's back on that. So that's kind of the quick and dirty version.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and it's just awesome. Still, I cannot reiterate enough. It is awesome whenever someone actually is out here in the space and manages to care. I always appreciate that when that happens. It's very cool. It's very cool. So if folks want to find you, where should they go?
Yeah, I am on pretty much every social media platform, all of the big ones, some of the small ones, pretty much everything but MySpace. I deleted that. At Joshua M. Simons, that's my name. You're welcome to search me up. I publish under that. Or the alternative is you could come and hang out on my Twitch channel. I usually stream 2 days a week. Sometimes I'll take like a week off for the holidays. Sometimes I'll stream more. It's a very loose schedule based around my day job, which some days is more forgiving than others, but you can find me on Twitch at Joshua Simons. There's no M in the middle there, but that's me.
Awesome. All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and kick things back over to my future self, whatever it is that he happens to be doing right now. Thanks again for coming and hanging out with us for a bit.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Have fun, future self.
Yes. You hear that? Fun. You're supposed to be having fun right now. Do that. Take care, folks. We will see you all of a sudden. We have returned. Hello.
All right. So when we left, Seamus was heading towards large tracksuit guy.
Yes.
Oh, and by the way, Cynthia, slightly over 2 hours have passed. So theoretically, the time, the coast is clear for looking at those tapes.
Okay. So I think Cynthia knows that she probably should go make sure Seamus doesn't get into trouble. But someone should look at those tapes and see if there's anything useful. So knowing that she knows Nick's going to go with the professor. So I think she grabs Claire and they're going to go to the tapes.
Okay. Is Claire cool
Come
with
on,
this?
Claire, it's time to go. It's time to go watch those tapes.
All right. Nick, keep an eye on this. I just
Nick has
gesture
already
aimlessly.
started going with the professor, and in the back of his head, he's like, "Hey, if anything goes wrong, Cynthia and Claire will see it happening, and they'll be right with us."
They'll see it all right on the security tapes out a few hours later.
Yeah, they're right behind you. Okay, so yeah, you guys are heading to the security office then, so it'll take you a little while to get to that. The way that the yes, Nick's, I mean not Nick, sorry, Nick's following Seamus. Seamus, what are you specifically doing?
Okay. So basically, we'll head into. He went through the back. He went toward the back of the chicken hut. Is that?
Yes.
So he's behind the counter, or?
Oh no, he went further into the kitchen.
Gotcha.
But if you're familiar with the way food courts work, the exits are all into like a large hallway in the back.
You have to you have to get to the hallway to do that.
Yeah.
So I forgot. Yeah, that's right. You can't just go in and find your way around. You have to
Yeah, and this is one of those. Some of them do have a way to exit through the front. This isn't one of them. This is just a solid counter.
Yeah.
So the any exits are going to be like back behind the kitchen area.
I do want to look at one thing before I dart behind there.
Sure.
The person who was part of the exchange, the employee.
Yes.
I don't know if I didn't really observe this directly. This was more Cynthia and Claire saw this, I think, but I think they told me a deal was going down or something. Does it look like that? What is that person doing? What is that employee doing?
That person is clearly a manager. He's a tall guy, early 20s.
Does he look like he has been handed something, or that he perhaps handed something off?
Both. It looks like he traded something for something.
God damn it! There's two things to follow now. So this being the case, I just sort of look. And the big guy's going to be getting away. We have to follow him. Okay. Manager might be here for a little while, but manager probably, the manager's probably further in the back. Okay.
Yeah, manager's in the back. Right now, the manager's still in the back. They only have one employee out front doing cashier stuff.
We can always circle back and get him later. So I will, I'll just basically go to the hall and just sort of note that he's there. Turn and go into the hallway.
Okay. Tracksuit guy is heading towards you. He is already in the hallway and he's moving through the back hall towards the main part of the mall.
Oh, okay.
Towards where customers go.
He carrying anything?
He is not obviously.
Okay.
Tracksuit has pockets left. So.
I'm actually trying to decide if the better thing would be to No. All right. Doesn't matter. So near the, I'm not gonna go too deep into the hallway,
Okay.
but just deep enough. And as he approaches, just sort of do that thing where just sort of nod and sort of look up, and it'll be like, huh. You look to be someone who's been gifted by the spirit of capitalism. Would I be right in that estimation, sir?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, what indeed the fuck am I talking about? There have been people disappearing from this mall?
Do you want to be one of them?
It might be fascinating if it happens the same way. No, no, I'm speaking more to the ones that disappeared mysteriously. Haven't been seen. People go missing, things go missing. Furniture apparently also has been going missing. You haven't been hearing anything about that, have you at all?
He says, well, the thing about that is, and then he takes a swing at you.
Excellent.
I'm gonna defend.
Okay.
He hasn't lied to me yet, so
Yeah, you're right. So far, I will guarantee you he is not lying.
I know when people are lying to me.
And so far, he has not told you any.
His fist is about to tell me some truths.
Yeah, but it looks like your buddy's gonna intervene.
Okay.
I think, is that the protect move? Is that what that is?
Yes.
All right. So do whatever you need to roll for that. I don't remember what the roll is. I will count on you to find it.
Okay. It is.
Unless I need to look over here. All right. What do we got?
Got a 9.
Yeah, you did. Okay, so that's a mixed success, which is actually that leaves you with a choice. Am I remembering that right?
No, it's I protect them, but I suffer the harm instead.
Okay. Well, I mean, that was always an option. So
no, it's only on a 10 that I get.
It's only on a 10 where you get to mitigate it. Okay, fair enough. The good news is you're already wearing armor, aren't you?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. And you take less harm in general.
Yeah.
So this would have been 3 harm, which, by the way, is a lot for a punch.
Yes, it is.
This guy is strong as hell. So if I'm reading this right, you knock off basically 2 harm. Is that right?
Yeah. So
because you take one less and your armor does the other one. So you do end up taking a single harm. Which actually means, okay, a few things happen here. First off, you intervene. I'll ask you for details on that in just a minute. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, I need the details now because that will determine what he does. What do you do to keep your friend from getting hit?
I think that, so it's been said of Ash from Evil Dead that he thinks slowly, really, really poorly, but he thinks fast, really, really well. Nice. And that's kind of the way Nick is.
I like it.
The fist starts coming in with an almost practiced move. Nick just very slightly pushes the professor out of the way and takes the shot to his shoulder.
Actually, you know what? This is going to be 0 harm. The reason for that is he's not hitting you full on.
Okay.
So he actually would have done 2 harm, but it's a 0 harm move.
Okay.
Because if he'd been aiming for you, it would have been the full 3. So 2 things happen. First off, Seamus, you are not punched by the big guy. I will ask you for your reaction in a moment. Also, Nick is now between you and the big guy. And the big guy is visibly surprised because even even though he knows he didn't hit you with his full force, you kind of took it, kind of a glancing blow. It should have knocked you down, and you're still standing. So he he's not used to this. So that means first we're going to go to Seamus, and then Tracksuit gets to do something next, and then we're back to Nick. So Seamus, what do you do upon all of this happening?
What would he do? What would he do? Well, let's see. There is running. Running is a possibility. Does he? Although that may only be. Does he? How angry does he look so far? Is he still just mildly annoyed, or has he?
Oh, actually, he wasn't even angry when he took the swing at you. It was more just frustrated that something was in his way and he wanted to keep walking. But when he got confused by Nick not falling over, he looks angry and maybe a little scared.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I think I'm going to try to appeal to him.
That worked so
to
well
his
last
sense
time.
of it worked so well. Which this I don't have a great level of charm, but I think what I'm going to do is, as he just sort of does, and he sees Nick, and he says, I say,
here we go. Go ahead.
Now. What? I'm sorry. He said, no. You don't. It doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like this. I can see that. I see that you're very busy. You've got a particular situation. Perhaps you're over a barrel with something, and I am telling you, with the things that are going down here, we can help you with that. So,
okay, this is going to require some sort of roll. Let's see. This feels like. What do you feel? I'm feeling maybe manipulation.
Yeah, it could be. Let's see.
I'm open to other suggestions, but yeah, you're gonna have to.
Yeah,
do
this
something
feels most to me
change
like
it.
manipulation. Yeah.
Okay.
Remember you got
So
luck points.
what?
Remember you got luck points.
That is true. We do have luck
That's
points.
a good point.
Yeah.
You do have. I mean, you only have 3, but this is a short session.
Yeah, that's fair.
So FYI.
All right. Yeah. So shall I roll manipulate?
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. Because you can spend those after you roll, right?
You can definitely spend them
That's
after
what I
you
thought.
roll.
All right. That is. Let's see. Charm.
Oh, and don't forget to add your +1.
Oh yes, that's right. I've got a +1 because I'm
you're
being
still
contrary.
Being a dumbass. Yeah.
Yes.
You get your dumbass bonus on this one. Oh my God, that's good. Never mind. You don't have to spend any luck on that. Okay.
10 plus.
Okay. So
tell them what you want them to do. I want them to. I want him to calm down and deal with us talk to us about this. What's going on, basically.
Okay.
That's the
fair
reason.
enough.
And
okay.
it's once you've given them a reason, they do it for the reason you gave them, which is I think you're over a barrel. We can help you, if that's the case.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Okay, so this is gonna work, but he's like, who the hell are you guys?
We investigate things that, shall we say, most people, especially those in, say, law enforcement, don't enjoy taking on things of an unusual nature. In particular, when certain occult energies are being used, and I can assure you they are being used here.
Yeah,
we are going to. There is a monstrous force at work here, and we are here to stop it.
I know.
Very
Tell
good.
me something that is helpful, as opposed to there is a monstrous force at work here.
No, that's what we're here looking for. We are trying to put a stop to it. People have been disappearing. That needs to end.
All right, come on. We need to talk about this not out in the open.
Very good.
What happened in the chicken shack? You were making a handoff of some kind. What was that?
It'll become clear when I show you my office. Just come on.
Nod.
And I kind of look
making-
to the professor. I'm going to follow his lead at this point.
Just nod to Nick. Excellent. Now just start following.
Okay, cut to the security office, where you have already begun looking at the tapes. Yeah, Claire, Johnny doesn't seem to realize you're not. He doesn't seem to realize you're a ghost. He just thinks you're some friend of Cynthia's right now.
That's good.
Okay, so actually, the fact that there are two of you will speed this up because they have more than one station from which to view these. And you, first off, you know the timestamps you're looking for. The question is, which camera do you look at? And the problem with that is this thing has a lot of cameras. It's a big ass mall, so it takes a little while. However, you kind of know where to start because you know the last places at least some of these people were seen. You know that accountant guy was heading towards the food court. You know the last place the married couple was seen. You don't know where the other two were, but you've got pretty solid timestamps on as far as the range of when they were last seen and when they were reported missing. So what do you start with? Like which people are you looking for first? And each of you will probably have a different answer for this question. So let's start with Claire. What are you looking at?
The married couple that were in the furniture store.
Because you were already kind of doing the furniture thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, you may have a little information. Okay, so you begin with that camera and you can, again, you know the times you're looking for and you've got a map of where the cameras are. Johnny's been very helpful. And you can basically just kind of follow, you've already spotted them leaving the store. So you've got a good start. So I'll get back to you. Cynthia, which one are you focusing on first?
Cynthia's actually going to try and find the most recent person.
Okay, lottery guy.
Yep.
Okay. That's a little. Actually, no. I was going to say that's a little more difficult to find, but it's really not because you can make a very good guess as to which entrance he came in because it's the one closest to where he worked. And so eventually you spot him coming in the mall, and you're doing the same thing Claire's doing, and you just start following them around. So it takes a little while, but Claire, you're the first one to spot something particularly unusual. You actually follow the couple out towards they go into the back hallways, into like the service places where the mall employees usually are. And they head towards one of the loading docks, and they've got a rental truck back there, just like a rider truck. And you can't see all the way into the truck because of the angle of the camera, but you can see the edges of the truck. So the first thing they do is they walk into the truck. The guy makes some kind of move with a ring on his index finger. He twists it some number of times. It's too far away for you to get an idea of how many, but it doesn't really matter because what happens is the truck fills up with stuff, like to the extent that it suddenly just it lowers. It becomes instantly heavier. And you can spot the chair in question right on the end.
Huh.
And then they close the truck and then walk back towards the mall. And I'll get back to you in just a second because at this point, Cynthia, you see Lottery Guy. He's wearing his Quickie Mart outfit. He is East Asian of some sort. He's young. He's, late teens, early 20s. And he actually, first thing he does is he heads towards a shoe store, and some time passes, and he walks out with 2 bags, each of which has at least 2 boxes of shoes in it. And by shoe store in this case, I mean athletic shoe store. He walks into, like
Well, yeah, he just
Yeah.
won the lottery. He's got to
Yeah.
get those sweet new Nikes or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And then he goes he heads from there into a clothing store. And like almost more of a skate shop as far as that goes. And he does not come out. But zooming in, you see some sort of ripple inside the store.
Is there any chance that there's a camera from inside the Sick Gate store?
Almost certainly, but they can't access it from here.
Okay.
Just like the furniture store camera. You'd have to go to the store for that.
Okay. I will definitely note what time that ripple happens then.
And back to Claire. You, on the other hand, follow them. They're heading back towards the mall. They've locked up the truck. They seem extremely pleased with themselves. They're seem to be heading in the direction of the food court. But then they turn a corner, and you also see a ripple just in front of them. And you think you also see what look like clawed hands reaching out from that ripple and pulling them into if you had to guess, maybe some sort of pocket in space, something like that.
I rewind and point that out to Cynthia.
What the hell is that?
Johnny, once like Claire gets your attention, Johnny's heading over too. So unless you stop him, he will be looking over Claire's shoulder. And he says,
I mean,
yeah, are you?
He said he'd let it. I told him he could know stuff. So
all right, fair
I guess
enough. Then in that case, he says basically the same thing. What the hell was that?
Cynthia will then be like, I found the kid who won the lottery, and he made it to this like skate store and went in and never came out. And there's a ripple that looks exactly like that. I just didn't catch any hands.
What time was the ripple? Like, do they match up?
Oh,
or no? Like they have this.
They were different days.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, this kid
right.
was like at this point it was a few hours ago, but yeah. This was earlier today that the lottery guy got messed up.
Maybe Nick was right. Maybe it is capitalism.
Yeah, because can I switch to like current cameras?
Oh yeah.
Is the truck still there?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Yeah. What do you know? Truck's still there. No one has touched the truck.
All right. So I bet we could find the furniture store's missing chair in that truck, but that's not really this problem.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, we have returned the stolen goods.
All is well.
All is well.
And just leave. Yeah.
Yeah, because the guy had some ring, and he, you know how magic rings work. You got to twist them, and a whole bunch of stuff showed up in this truck. So including the chair. So I think that all that stuff's still there, but I don't know why they went back into the mall afterward instead of just driving it away.
I mean, there might be a clue for that in the truck, but I mean, if at the very least, Johnny, there's your info to save your ass. That truck's still there, and it's got all the stuff they, I'm guessing, stole.
Mm-hmm. You're muted, Brian.
You're muted.
Hate it when I do this. Sorry. Back to Nick and Seamus. So you guys, Tracksuit Guy seems to be leading you towards the Thomas Kincaid store. You know, the Artist of Light, that guy with the paintings. Look him up.
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah.
Because I that sounds familiar, but you're a painter of light.
Kinkade, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's leading you towards that, and then he sees something and goes, "Shit, we can't go in yet." Fine, let's go around back.
I'm gonna try to see if I can follow his line of sight to see what it was he saw.
Okay. There's a woman. Looks. Do you know what Gemma Chan looks like? If not, Google her because she looks just like Gemma Chan. And so whatever it was, he didn't want to go in because she was there.
Right. Guess we keep following.
I don't.
Are you following him to the whatever other place he's decided to go to?
Yes. I also have. I think I can spend another hold soon. Which is.
I mean, any time you want. So it's up to you.
What does the monster want from this person? Is going to be.
Oh, from this person.
Yeah.
Nice.
The monster wants. Wait, are you talking about Tracksuit Guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the monster wants Tracksuit Guy to continue doing what he's been doing.
Yeah. Okay.
And I will be more specific about that in a moment.
Yes. Yes.
And he basically takes the two of you around to just a corner that no one is in, and it's in one of the back halls. And he says, "All right, first, what do you know?"
Well, he says, and he'll take out sort of his pad. He probably also grabbed a. Is there the corner that we're in? Is there a kiosk near here?
Alas, it isn't, because it's in one of the back halls.
Okay.
So,
is where are we? We're in a corner, a nook, or something?
Yeah. You're basically in one of the sort of service hallways behind the stores.
Okay.
Quite close to the Thomas Kincaid store.
Ah, excellent. So I'll look around for a second. I will take a piece of colored chalk, out of my pocket, and I will begin drawing on the wall.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah. So I say,
and
well,
under his breath, Nick mutters, "Oh God, he's got the chalk again."
So furniture store, and I basically start listing off the stores that I'm aware of, where people that we were aware of, roughly where people had disappeared. Furniture store, this store. Now that, I say, putting another, is the chicken hut. Now we were able to determine that an imitation Loomis disappeared from this store, this furniture store, not terribly long ago, and from that location, we were able to sort of triangulate and figure out the next spot was going to be the chicken hut. So something evidently also we discovered that a gentleman quite recently, so turning to Nick, had won the lottery. Yes, that was.
Yeah.
It was just today.
Yeah.
Happened shortly before he disappeared, and so there seems to be a
He says,
process of people getting things and then vanishing.
last one was the Korean guy.
You sort of turned to Nick. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now,
All right. Well, You put some of it together, and I got a little bit myself. Each one of these people was one of my customers.
What is your business?
He holds up his. He pushes up the sleeve, the left sleeve of his tracksuit, and has a kind of a thick bracelet on it, maybe 3 inches across, made of brass and silver with a number of semi-precious stones in it. And the two of you have enough experience with stuff like this, you immediately recognize it as something magical. Beyond that, you're not sure what it does. But this is not your first rodeo. And he's counting on that. He says, I sell stuff like this.
Oh. You know Cynthia?
Cynthia.
I think you are fallen into folks who have, well, you see, if you don't know Cynthia, then I think you probably should be introduced, because there are much safer and easier ways to move that kind of merchandise. I can tell you. It's
well, right now it looks like it's getting people killed.
Yes.
Or at least disappeared. I mean, no body, no death.
But what's happening on my side is I didn't sell this one, but I think the boss did.
The boss.
And somebody used it inappropriately and released something that they couldn't control. Our instructions are very clear when we sell this stuff, but some people don't listen.
They rarely do, I've found.
Says the man famous for not listening. I love it.
Yeah. Such a hypocrite. No. Yes, I mean, you give them the warnings when you get them the merchandise, but for some reason they tend to. Although, granted, I will say most of the people that I deal with just sort of want to put it in their homes and just look at it from time to time.
Wait. Did you just sell one of these to someone in the chicken hut?
Yeah, that's what I was doing. It's my job.
We should get back to the chicken hut.
Yes. So yes, that means that someone in there possibly is about to. So yes, something then was released and is basically poaching your customers. Then it would seem, as it were.
I mean,
in a rather literal sense.
Yeah. All right. So he says, well, I was going to take you back to the office, but boss ain't going to like that. So we have to wait if we're going to do anything in there.
Well, maybe we should look at the chicken hut and see if that poor manager vanishes.
Tell you what, why don't you do that? I've got some things I need to handle on my end.
Your organization is not is I presume trying to prevent this kind, not trying to allow this kind of thing to happen because it would be bad for business. Yes.
I mean, ultimately, yeah.
Yes. Very good. I think we're on the same page then. Very good. Why is now a bad time?
Because look, it just is.
Yeah. So
the boss is really antsy about this.
Mm-hmm.
And showing up with a couple of people she doesn't know is going to piss her off.
Mm-hmm.
I want to piss her off.
So she's not to be disturbed right now. She has a very so she's in the middle of something. Is it related to this business?
Look, she's not to be disturbed ever.
Right.
He looks to Nick. He points to Nick. You know how I was going to hit you?
We're going to try,
and this guy kept it from happening. I do that for her.
Yeah. How fascinating. You nod slowly. Right.
But look, like you said, I think we're on the same side here, but I'm not sure if everyone is on our side here.
Oh. I think I take your
like
meaning.
I said, I've got some things I have to do on my end. Maybe we can get together later.
I think I do take your meaning. Very good. Very good. Right. And there's a war going on in right now as in Seamus's brain as he's struggling. He wants so badly to go in and question that lady. But
I'm sure he does.
I'm sure he does. He'll turn to Nick. What do you say? What do you think?
If something's going to happen at the chicken hut, we need to save whoever that is.
We do need to save whoever that is, don't we?
All right,
let's go.
Yeah, all right.
I'll get back to you when you reach Chicken Hut. Back to team videotapes. So you guys, what did you do after discovering what you just discovered? You've had some time.
What are the chances that while we're watching the live feeds, because Claire wanted to check the truck, that, I don't know, I might spot someone that looks like Gemma Chan at the Thomas Kincaid store?
I mean, you can start with the cameras that were in the area where you spotted her the first time, and eventually, yep, nope, that's her. She doesn't appear to be working at the Thomas Kincaid store, but she appears to be present at the Thomas Kincaid store, like a lot.
I think, okay, out of character, Claire, you're gonna have to just follow Cynthia.
All right.
Because
Down.
Cynthia's just like, I really don't want to talk to her. I really don't want to talk to her. And then she just gets up really stiffly and is going to go to the Thomas Kincaid store.
All right, I follow.
Fair enough. The two of you are heading to the Thomas Kincaid store. And you'll actually reach that before you guys get to Chicken Hut. So we're gonna hang on. Let me look up something real quick. Miri is still standing there because it didn't take you that long to show up. In what manner are you approaching her, I guess is the question.
I mean, I do want to be subtle because I, as a player, and honestly, probably as Cynthia, I want that moment of the like sunglasses casually come down and just, oh, Miri, been a long time. Because, regardless of how this conversation goes, Cynthia would like to start out with the advantage.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, you start out with that. But you're because she's clearly surprised to see you. Both Cynthia and Claire, you notice her hand goes to actually her hand moves inside her jacket. She takes a couple of slow breaths and then withdraws her hand from her jacket empty. And she says, showing up with witnesses is the only thing that's keeping you alive, Cindy.
Listen, Miri, I know there's some bad blood between us. I get it. It's all my fault. But what are you doing here?
I think the question is, what are you doing here? That was... And she lowers her voice and gets closer into you. But Claire, you're close enough you can still hear. She says, are you doing this to me? Taking what was mine wasn't enough for you? You have to ruin me here too?
How do I want to respond to that? Oh man, now I gotta decide, how bad of a person is Cynthia actually? I think Cynthia also kind of quietly, whether you believe me or not, I did that for your own good. You didn't know what you were getting into, but I have nothing to do with what's going on here, except we're trying to figure out what it is and put a stop to it.
At which point, Claire, you're the first one to see tracksuit guy approaching. He's coming from behind you. And once he gets within earshot, he says to Miri, "Is there a problem here?" Oh, also, Claire, he's wearing a bracelet. It's really pretty. I mean, like, it's gorgeous. You kind of want to live in that bracelet. It's like it's nice. It looks like it'd be so comfortable if you just moved into the bracelet and took a nap.
I take a step, 2 steps. I take a step forward and then 2 steps back.
Nice.
I don't like that.
And Miri says to tracksuit, "Not yet." And then to Cynthia, "But the jury's still out, isn't it?"
I guess that depends on how you want to play this. From the bottom of my heart, if you'll believe, we are trying to figure out what's been happening here.
Where are you keeping your heart these days? Is it in a jar now, or one of those situations?
If I told you that, then you'd go smash it, and that doesn't fit with my plans at all.
Fine. Okay, come on back. She gives tracksuit guy a quick nod, and he doesn't obviously change posture, but something about him moves from threatening to just there. And she says, as if this situation couldn't get any worse. Fine. And she heads to the back of the Thomas Kincaid store and holds the door open for the two of you to enter, just like, the storeroom in the back. And I will get back to you guys in a moment, because our other two hunters have reached Chicken Hut. And look, it's Chicken Hut.
Want to go up to the cashier that I was flirting with before and say, hey, can I talk to your manager? Not like to get you in trouble or anything. I mean, like, just wanna.
She says, "Are you looking for a job?" She seems like really hopeful that you're going to say yes.
Yeah. Can I talk to him?
Sure. Ron, Ron, got what to talk to you. And you hear there's an exchange, like, something about a job. And then she says, yeah, he says, meet him around back. It's the door with the Chicken Hut sign on it.
Gotcha. And kind of motion for Seamus to follow me.
I'll follow.
Okay, and sure enough, big metal door, Chicken Hut, and a few seconds after you arrive, someone opens it from the other side, and it says apparently his name is Ronald, and again, he's a tall guy, maybe 6'5", 6'6", fairly young. And he says, "What can I do for you?"
Hey, Ronald, is it?
Yeah.
Look, did you just like buy a bracelet off a big dude with a tracksuit? We're with the Bureau of Antiquities. We're
Nice.
searching them down.
He
They're
looks really
super
nervous,
illegal.
and he says, "Wasn't a bracelet.
What was it?
Come on." And so back in I mean, it's fairly cramped back here. There's like everything has the space is used very efficiently. But on one of the counters right beside the sink, those cats that you see in Chinese restaurants with the arm that does this? It's one of those. About that big, maybe 6 inches tall.
Does it have that same like weird magic vibe that we got off the bracelet?
Yeah, you're getting the sense this isn't just one of those cats. This isn't one of the ones you buy at in Chinatown.
I look to the professor and go, yeah, this is the one, like super illegal, right? Like smuggled.
Oh, yes, and of course we don't need to necessarily get any authorities involved here because, I mean, you didn't know, did you? But we do need, that is the thing, we're trying to track these things down. They're causing a little bit of a stir, shall we say. And putting those who acquire them, he says, looking into Ronald's soul, in mortal danger. Now, we'd like to prevent. Now, above all else, we would like to prevent people from being in mortal danger.
What? Just because of the cat?
Quite.
He's not buying it. You're gonna have to do something.
No. You don't know who wants this. Let's see.
I mean, Samesh gave me a deal.
I'm sorry, what? Where?
He says, I mean, Samesh gave me a deal.
Samesh? No, yes. I mean, the thing is that some folks are looking to unload these things because, well, why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Now,
because they work. The arcade.
Have you already tried to use it?
The arcade was a ghost town a month ago. They got one of these, and you can't walk through that place. It's so crowded.
Just to be clear, when you say that they work, do you mean just simply that you put these things on display and people show up, or do you mean that you do something else with these and people show up?
What the hell are you talking about? No, we just put it up. Yikes.
Right. See, it's a problem. As these in particular, this is a this is one of the originals off which they template the others. I don't suppose that realize that that's the thing. That's why the thing looks as old as it does.
No, I do realize that. That's what
precisely. Yes. So it doesn't. Yes. Well, the thing is,
so
the Bureau is going to rather need them back.
But he guaranteed this thing wasn't cursed.
Curses come in all types, though.
And not cursed. This was a stolen artifact. And we just need it for evidence. But if you're going to put up a fight about this, we're going to have to take you in for buying a stolen artifact.
That makes him look nervous. He's like,
I'm sure this
is too good to be true. Whatever, take it.
Look,
you've made a very wise decision.
You need to lean your marketing towards the fries. They're fantastic.
Well, I did say this, didn't I? I have satchels. I'm going to.
It'll fit.
Pull out a satchel that I will have been carrying. I've been carrying a satchel, professorial satchel, oversized satchel with me probably. So I will go ahead and open it up and be like, do you have any, you've got gloves here, haven't you? Got a pair of gloves just in case? Don't want to damage it
Nick
after all.
reaches over, takes some tongs from the fryer, uses them to pick up the cat, and
That'll work.
puts it in there.
Okay. It's got a little bit of grease on it now, but other than that, it's in your satchel.
Well, that'll do, I suppose, for now. Many thanks. He says we're hastily closing up the satchel.
It's like, yeah,
And,
assholes.
and Nick just sort of casually walks over to the cashier and is like, hey, I'm sorry about, me not actually wanting a job here with me being part of artifact security.
Oh, that's okay. We're not supposed to
You're
date coworkers anyway.
What?
Have a good night.
Come along, Nick.
Hey,
Let's not trouble these poor people any more than we already have.
what you doing Friday night?
Well, as it happens, I have Friday night off.
What's your number?
she gives it to you.
Excellent.
Okay, back to the Thomas Kincaid store, or more to the point, the back room of the Thomas Kincaid store. And actually, no, that's not quite accurate either. It's the room behind the back room of the Thomas Kincaid store that requires both a keypad and some sort of biometric scan to get into. So she opens those, and this room is full of magical artifacts. And she says, actually, it's just the three of you. Tracksuit guy apparently is standing outside, most likely guarding. She doesn't say anything to you, Cynthia. She just sort of spreads her arms wide to say, "Yep."
Do I needle her more? Should I play nice? I think Cynthia looks to Claire and is just like, so what do you think?
Are any of the artifacts in the room behaving for me like the bracelet was?
Oh, yes. One other one is, it's a chalice. It's a fairly plain looking chalice. It's made of just like pewter. But it looks like the kind of thing that if you got a ghost into exactly the right situation, you could trap it in the chalice.
Okay, I moved very far away from that one.
The other thing that you are noticing is, again, you know how you get vibes off stuff. First off, this room is full of vibes. It's just, you are surrounded by supernatural artifacts. So, I mean, it's not messing you up. But it is just like, it's like a bunch of radios turned really low to different stations.
Oof.
But the thing that you noticed is you didn't detect any of that until she opened the door to this room. So something about this room is blocking off. Yeah.
I move far away from the chalice, and because I may want to get trapped in an object someday, but today is not that day. And would I know if there was anything in this room that could like summon something like the clawed hands we saw?
Not anymore, it's not. But you get the sense that something was. mostly because whatever was on that shelf that's currently empty was significantly more powerful than anything else in here.
Okay. What was on that shelf when I point to the empty spot?
She says, that was Cynthia. You remember Budapest?
I really don't want to, but yes.
It was a well, it was really powerful. What it boils down to, though, is it was supposed to bring any entity that. Okay, so there's a lot of rituals that can summon things, right?
Right.
And this kind of supercharges the ritual.
And you sold that to someone.
Yeah, for a lot of money.
I don't think they followed your instructions.
Huh. Wonder what they summoned.
Well, it's stealing people.
Yeah, a lot of stuff steals people.
Yeah. What do you know that can create a ripple in space and has claws?
Oh, well, that does narrow it down. And then she's been pretty blasé about this whole thing. And then she says, oh. No, damn it. This isn't Budapest. This is Paris. Whatever they summoned probably came through just fine, and it brought a friend. And I think it's a thaumaveor. And it's after the artifacts that are all over this mall. Fine, Cynthia, fine. Now I'm on your side. What do you need?
What have you got that can trap a thaumaveor?
I don't. Not my department. What I can do is sacrifice some of my lesser objects to use as bait, though, if it'll get you out of my store. Leave a trail of breadcrumbs. Let you guys put yourselves in danger. If you say yes, I'll consider us even.
I gesture to Cynthia. Like, it's your deal.
Well, here's the Cynthia starts to talk and she's like, no, be nice. I appreciate that, Miri. And I want you to know that if you let me have these artifacts, I will leave your store and I will give you 12 hours to pack up and leave my city before I alert the cops to what's going on here. As a show of good faith.
She spits in her hand and holds it out to you.
What are we, 12? And she spits in her hand and shakes.
And you get a You get that little tingle of this is now binding. Fine. Anything on that shelf?
Does that, out of character, does that shelf include this goblet?
Actually, it does.
Cool. We're gonna for sure take that, but that immediately goes like in a bag or something. Yeah. Cynthia might disappear is what I'm saying.
Fair point. Okay. Fair enough. While you guys are making your decisions, what are Nick and Seamus up to?
I think we're trying to reunite with the others, probably.
Okay. You don't know where they are.
This is the time to use technology.
Yes, I was going to say. At least one of them has a phone, and I think we've established both of them do. So.
Yeah. So just
Although
basically,
I think Claire's might not work all the time.
Yeah, Claire's is just sort of like she explains it as getting spotty reception, but in reality, it's just sort of cell phones and ghosts don't mix well.
Not so much. Yeah. All right, fair point. So, what are you doing?
I'm gonna text to if we have like a group text, basically, I'll just.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
To
so yeah, all three of you get it, even Nick.
Relic secured from Chicken Hut.
And
apparently being sold from Kincaid's store.
So Cynthia, you get the text buzz first, and then 15 seconds later, Claire, you get the buzz.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make this tone come through in text. Maybe Seamus will get the tone just from knowing Cynthia, but it's a very matter of fact, yes, at Thomas Kincaid, retrieving artifacts currently.
And no, basically it's sort of as I get that text, Nick, you'll just sort of hear again Seamus will just sort of bark out, "Ha!"
Nick, something's following you. Something that you can't see exactly, but you feel it.
They're already there. We should head to the Kincaid shop.
I figure of the two of you, you're the one with danger sense because you have some sense of self-preservation.
Yes. Yeah.
What's anti-danger sense? Seamus has that.
Seamus probably notices that Nick suddenly stops and pulls this iron chain out of his coat. And Seamus knows that's the monster killing chain. And he doesn't pull it out lightly. Something's coming, boss.
Right.
All right. So, Nick, you can see shifts in space as if they actually look like someone's just throwing rocks into a pond, like over here, and they're getting closer to you.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Nick is
actually. Let me rephrase that. They're getting closer to Seamus. Is what they're doing.
Okay. Nick's gonna stand in its path.
Okay.
And get ready to rumble.
Okay. So are you with the chain? I guess technically this is kick some ass, but the chain has range, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Okay. What kind of range is on that chain?
It is the ranging chain. I think it stays mainly on the plane, but it has close range.
Okay, so close is actually quite good. Close is better than hand.
Yes,
so what you're doing in this case is you get a chance to hit this thing without having to make the kick some ass roll, which requires you to take damage. Meaning you just get to try to damage it is what it boils down to.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so you're kind of watching where it's going, and you make a guess at where it's going to show up next.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm guessing you just well, tell me what you do. What do you do with your chain?
Nick kind of spins the end of it slightly and is tracking the thing or trying to track the thing, and finally just hurls the end of the chain where he thinks it's going to go.
Got it. And this does not require a roll. Actually, yeah, it does. Let's do act under pressure.
Okay. Act under pressure. Let's do that. Let's act under pressure.
Yeah, if you could fully see the thing, I wouldn't make you roll. Okay.
Oh no. Okay.
Too bad.
You know what? I'm gonna use my luck.
Okay. And in this case, what does that do? Does it make it like a 12?
Yeah, it makes it a 12.
Okay. You hit the hell out of the thing then. Okay. So having said that, one moment. Look this up real quick to make sure I understand what I'm doing. Yeah, you just full on hit it. How much damage does your chain do?
The damage of the chain is 2, and it is considered magic.
Got it. It screams. It screams in like a ring wraith scream. I mean, it is one of those. Seamus, you hear this too.
So I just will say I've probably a text, another text will come through to Cynthia that just says, "Oh, it's coming," and I will, if I can, quickly send a location ping.
Why not? The next thing that happens is, well, you guys haven't seen the tapes, so you don't know this, but the audience watching sees exactly the same ripple in space that happened when those people got snatched. Except in this case, you sense that it is left, but then it is replaced by 5 kind of dachshund-sized, dark gray, slimy things that are essentially made of tentacles and claws and teeth. And they are charging you. At this point, 2 of them are charging Seamus and 3 of them are after Nick. And these, by the way, you can see. They are not trying to disappear, and they are far enough away for you to get what's basically a free shot at them. And this time I'm not going to make you roll because you can see them. You can basically just hit one with your chain. And
I will point out that the chain also has the advantage area.
Oh, in that case, you can hit all 3 with the chain. That's even better. Nice work.
Wipe right across them.
Oh, that totally happens. Okay, so what happens is, you definitely injure them. They are now, all 3 of them, leaking some sort of darker greenish gray fluid. And they are significantly farther away from you than they were. You actually managed to catch one of the ones that was trying to get to Seamus. So Seamus, now you've only got one of them closing in on you.
Excellent. I think that I think in situations like this, we know that I've got the thing. And I know that I have to not necessarily protect the thing, but I need to use this to my advantage.
Right.
So what I'm going to do is just sort of, as I'm just sort of backing up, I'm going to, again, just sort of dangle the satchel.
Okay.
And basically toward, and just yelling at all of them. I'm going to do that thing that I can't do, which is finger whistle.
Yeah.
Here, boys! Here! Come and get it! And I'm going to turn and run.
Just leg it. Okay, fine.
I'm going to leg it toward the. I'm trying to distract them away from Nick, but I'm
okay.
running toward. I'm kind of running in the direction of the Thomas Kincaid, roughly, but
all right,
I'm trying to find somewhere that's going to be more defensible and away from a lot of people.
Also a good plan. Okay,
Yeah.
The one that's heading for you is still chasing you. It's fast, but it hasn't caught up to you yet. Yeah, Nick, the 4 that you hurt are definitely like that got their attention. And they are running very quickly slithering towards Seamus, but they're gonna have to get past you.
I don't know. Would this be protecting him, or would it be
Actually,
kicking ass?
that's a good one. Yeah, you know what? If you wanted to protect, well, no, actually, this is kick ass because
Okay.
they are not. Yeah, he's not in that much danger right now. So yeah, this is pretty much just kick ass.
Alrighty.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well then, that's a 13.
Mhm.
And when I see a 13, I like to add even more extra stuff. So let's see. First off, for a 13, you get to choose 2 extra effects.
Get the effects. Okay. I am going to gain the advantage and give one forward to the professor.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I think, can I use you force them where you want them to make sure that like innocent bystanders aren't gonna get,
Definitely.
in this? I would normally choose to suffer less harm, but let's face it, part of my fate is sacrifice.
Okay, fair point. And this really does kind of fit with your whole thing, right? So that's a
Yeah.
good point. Well, in that case, by themselves, they don't do a lot of damage.
Mhm.
Together, because, well, hey, you know what? The thing is, in this particular case, you've got one that is still basically chasing Seamus.
Uh-huh.
You've got the other ones that you've kind of corralled.
Mhm.
Okay, they are. You are in a very good position here because of your armor and your other move that you chose.
Uh-huh.
So that means actually, once again, I think we're looking at 0 harm,
Okay.
but I still get to make a move on 0 harm,
Sure.
which
Sure.
I did not do before because it didn't make a lot of sense, but now it kind of does.
Yes.
Okay, we're just going to call it momentarily inhibited. So their claws and teeth are not able to actually do any real damage to you. Like they're tearing up your clothes and you've got some superficial scratches and things like that.
Uh-huh.
But in order to really take care of these guys, you're going to have to basically hold your ground.
Okay.
And just stay here. So I will get right back to you because I need to find out what's happening with Cynthia and Claire
Good.
after you got this string of texts.
Well, I mean, I think arms full of artifacts.
Fair enough. Okay.
Arms full of artifacts. They get the text. I'm okay. Well, so if Cynthia still got her phone out, so like an arm full of, maybe she had a duffel bag somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Just
Come on,
filled
this is
it.
Cynthia. You've got a bag.
Yeah. And then like she lifts the bag up and just, oh shit. And she hauls ass
Okay.
out of the but she doesn't know exactly what's happening or where they are. So
That's a good point.
I think Cynthia's plan is just, oh shit. Guess we're going to the food.
Yeah, you did get a location ping. I did send a location ping.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Actually, you did. So
Okay.
you know where Seamus's phone was when he sent the text. Seamus is not actually in that spot anymore, but you're likely to encounter him. So Claire, well, what are you doing during all this?
I'd imagine that she hears Cynthia go, "Oh shit," and then her phone goes off with the text message.
You get it, right?
And where's the Kincaid store in relation to the location ping that we got?
They are on the same level you are. So on the 3rd floor, just like you. But maybe 100 yards away.
Okay. She just makes a direct line for that, like not even acknowledging
Oh,
walls,
yeah, why not? Okay.
but still keeping up the act of like walking.
Oh, yeah.
And just makes a beeline for the location ping that she found, that she
So-
got.
As you come out, Samesh, who is still standing guard out there, goes, "What the fuck? Oh, it's you."
Hi. Bye.
All right, I get it. And then, so Cynthia, I guess you're gonna have to open the door, which bumps into Samesh, and he steps out of the way, and he says, "Friend's a ghost, huh?"
It's a long story, but listen, we could maybe use your help. As she's like, just, hey, how's it? Yep.
He there is apparently some hesitation, but you hear footsteps behind you a few seconds later. And now back to we're back to Seamus. You've still got that one in pursuit of you. The other ones are being held at bay by Nick.
I'm trying to lead it in the direction roughly of the Kincaid store.
Okay, well, if that's your goal, then you can keep ahead of it.
Yeah.
And basically get it in that direction. So that means we're back to Nick. What is Nick doing?
Nick is further laying waste to these things.
Indeed, you are. Actually, given the fact that you gave yourself the advantage, and you got them where you want them, it's basically a matter of time. It's a matter of when, not if.
Right.
You finally like wipe these things out. So it's just going to take a little while, but you do it.
Okay.
So you're going to have to catch up to Seamus in a little, like in some manner of seconds. But you just got to you can dance around them and use the chain to its fullest effect.
Okay.
Well, actually, tell me what that looks like, though. I want to hear that.
Okay, so there is, like, if this were a television show, which I believe it is,
which it kind of is, yeah.
There is a moment in the sound cues where "Don't Fear the Reaper" starts playing, but then it kind of morphs into something almost melancholic from the 50s.
Nice. All right. I like it.
The chain begins to glow slightly.
Sweet.
As Nick is laying into this, and he's got this almost blank expression on his face, like this isn't him that's doing it.
Oh, I like that too. Got it.
This is the chain that's doing this. And as he splatters the last one, the music stops and there's this moment of absolute silence, and Nick kind of almost comes to and is looking around like he's not sure what just happened, but it's something that he's experienced before.
Gotcha.
So it's, it happened again.
Ah, nice. Okay.
And then he turns and starts heading towards the direction he saw the professor going.
All right. Which means this is the point at which, Claire, you were first. So you're the first one to see Seamus heading towards you. It means you're also the first one to see that he's being chased by something.
Let me just say real quick, as if I see her, I'm just sort of like, I've got a shot, I just sort of wave and I'll say, Claire, I feel rather strongly as though it's shotgun time.
Well, the shotgun's still in your car. But I see that that he's being chased.
Yeah.
And oh gosh, what did I choose for my natural attacks here?
Oh, you got some good ones, as I recall.
So I don't know how I want to describe this. the base attack is magical force.
Mhm.
And so I think Claire unhinges her jaw and just screams
Oh damn.
at the thing that's chasing Seamus.
Right. Okay.
And deals 1 harm of magical force, and I will roll for that if you want me to.
You don't need to roll for that because it's
that.
just like the chain. It can't do anything about that. You've just managed to seriously hurt it. Not only did you hurt it, it stops. Like the pain causes it to quit slithering forward is what has happened. And then Cynthia, you get out, you leave the store just in time to hear the echoes of the scream die down.
Am I able to see all of that?
I mean, yeah, you could. The thing is, like I said, it's a dachshund size, and it's in a pretty wide hallway. So, yeah, you can see it.
So I hear the tail end of the scream, and I'm like running with this duffel bag full of shit.
Got this stuff.
And I was, I'm gonna head towards that way. So I think I want to say, if you'll let me, is I want to drop the duffel bag and. God, she's gonna be flashy. She winks at Seamus as she like slides, and as she slides past, she pulls out her own shotgun, which is a sawed off because you got to be able to hide that thing.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna shoot the goopy thing, tentacles.
Okay,
shotgun.
That's fine. You can do that.
Yeah.
All right. So you are in the midst of doing that, and I need to look up one thing before I tell you what happens. Got it. Okay. How much damage does that do?
3 harm.
Okay, that kills it. It's gone. It is a literal just dark greenish gray splotch. Pretty big actually. On the tile floor.
I will say Cynthia doesn't have a magical weapon, but this shotgun's totally loaded with rock salt because that hurts everything.
Nice. Yeah, that's like that. Well, it's happened in any number of things where someone stabs something that isn't a vampire with a stake, but you're still stabbing them with a stake.
Right.
So, yeah. All right. So at this point, Nick is in the process of catching up to you, but otherwise the 3 of you are in roughly the same area. Oh, actually now 4 because Samesh has just arrived, and he looks around and just sort of assesses the situation.
And as I see he's following them out, I just sort of look from him, look back over to Cynthia, and just sort of, I see you've met Cynthia.
I think Cynthia stands up, and she probably had to get close enough for this shotgun that she got a little splattered.
Sure.
So she stands up all coolly and like pulls out, like a kerchief or something. It's just like, be a dear and pick that bag up, will you? To Samesh. It's like, no, I'm used to this with these people. This happens.
He rolls his eyes when you say that, but he does pick up the bag.
Okay.
So
I just sort of explained briefly to us that they were after this, and Nick had 4 of them behind them. We should probably make sure that Nick's okay, et cetera, et cetera.
And Cynthia will catch him up on what they learned.
Okay. Do you let's see. Yeah. So Seamus, yeah. I mean, do you remember what they learned, or do we need to recap it for you?
I think part of this is that, they learned that they were selling the several of these artifacts, and that they were just now realizing that the artifacts were the things that were something came through and that was summoned, and something else came with it, and it was a thaumaveor. That's
Okay,
those are the things that I remember from overhearing.
So, you have one hold left.
I do. I
I
have.
will.
Yeah.
I will give you information for that final hold, because
Sure.
you're the book guy,
Evidently.
and more to the point, you're the research guy.
Yeah.
So when you hear thaumaveor, and you actually compare it to, or combine it with the information that you've already observed, by which I mean the ripples in space, the fact that it's very difficult to harm this thing, it's not here all the time, that kind of deal. You know that the only way to you can't kill it on this plane. The only way to get rid of it is to literally get rid of it. You have to send it. Basically, you have to block it from coming back here, and that's going to require a ritual.
Okay. It's a thaumaveor. That's right. Okay. Yes. No, we'd have to. No, they're going to keep coming until we without we'd have to block them from this place with a ritual in order to make that happen. In order to keep them at bay.
Also, Nick, you have just arrived, and there is a nasty green splotch that actually you heard Claire's scream from back where you were, and then it looks like someone otherwise maybe finished the job with the shotgun on this thing that is the one that was chasing Seamus. So. Also, tracksuit guy is holding a duffel bag and standing next to Cynthia now. So sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to catch Nick up. So yes, back to Seamus.
Yeah. Well, just sort of. So he says that, and he looks over at. He'll look over. He'll see Nick and be like, thank goodness," and just sort of look over at Claire. It's been a while since we've done a good ritual.
Yeah.
I think we can set. And actually, I will look around. We're just going to need a space that's decent, where things are spaced out well enough. And he just sort of looks back over his shoulder at the food court.
A lot of space in the food court.
And just sort of smiles.
That's a fair point.
I hope we all come to the same conclusion at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's got to be it. Everyone looks at the same time.
Slowly, just digs another piece of chalk out of his pocket. I'm going to start drawing a circle.
The mall closes in 15 minutes. You guys have been at this a while.
Yeah. Do we actually know where do we have to get the ritual? That's the thing. Will I need to look something up? Is that?
No, you got a book on you. I mean, you have books in the station wagon. You know what else you have in the station wagon? Clear shotgun.
There's a shotgun.
Yeah.
You have
doing
time.
a lot of good.
I was going to say you have time to make preparations.
Excellent. I think we're setting a thing up where once we're sort of clearing out the food court, and we're going to put the cat statue at the center on a table,
along with a pile of other stuff.
Yes, and just sort of mark it with a nice.
Do we have to put things at like each point around the circle?
Oh yeah. You've got to like really attract this thing. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Why don't I would like for each of you to describe some part of the ritual. Tell me what it looks like and what you're doing. Seamus, why don't you start it?
Oh yeah, I'm just basically Seamus is now gleefully in orange and red chalk drawing circles, greater concentric circles on the floor around where the center. That basically is piled up these relics, put the cat statue at the center, turned it on, and just
interestingly enough, it doesn't have batteries. It just does.
Yeah, it just does it. Preparing and just sort of is drawing these larger concentric circles around with different little arcane symbols as you're looking at his his Kindle or whatever, where he's got one of the books. It's just sort of making sure he's getting them right, and just.
I like the idea of this thing on a Kindle. That's good. Yeah. Okay.
And just sort of basically putting out the marking out the different points. If we have a few candles, putting some. We ran to the Bed Bath and Beyond and grabbed some candles.
Oh, totally.
If that's where they keep them, I forget. There's a candle store here somewhere. There's got to be.
Yankee Candle Company.
Yeah,
Yankee Candle.
Yeah.
Ran to Yankee Candles, grab some candles.
Which means this ritual smells great.
Yes.
It really does. Okay, so Claire, what? You tell me more about the ritual.
So Claire is using. Do I have? Oh yeah. Claire is using her unholy strength to like clear out the food court of
totally
like she's like towering tables on top of each other so that we have a really big space to work that's just open, and she's like, it is the perfect Tetris of tables and chairs. Like this thing is not getting knocked over by anything less than a magnitude, like a significantly magnitude earthquake.
I like the fact that the ghost is mysteriously stacking things too. That's awesome.
That's not creepy at all.
No mere human would stack tables.
Exactly.
Like
that is outstanding. Okay. Yeah. So you're doing the clearing and the stacking.
Yeah.
Okay. That brings us to Cynthia. What's going on? What's going on with your part of the ritual? Or it doesn't even have to be your part of the ritual. Just describe something. But
the first thing Cynthia does is make sure anybody that has a firearm that everything's loaded and ready to go.
Good call. Okay.
The second thing is she wants to try and figure out what this goblet is for in case it needs to be used on this thing.
Oh, okay. That actually, I'm not going to make you roll for that. I was going to make you roll, but I don't think we need to, because this is the kind of thing that, again, you guys have got experience with this stuff. You don't. Not only do you have experience, you literally have a mini library in the station wagon. You can look it up. So the combination of those two things, you would basically know which books to look through. This literally, you don't think, oh, that's a good question. Oh, you know what? You don't think that it would directly help with this ritual, because the ritual is designed to block the thaumaveor entity from passing over into this plane of existence. However, it does do a really good job of trapping spiritual beings. It's mostly set up to trap ghosts, like your friend Claire. But what it could also do is, if you did it right, you might be able to use it to trap or otherwise occupy those little dachshund-sized things, because those count as extra-dimensional entities. So you might be able to, you could, if you rigged it the right way and you've got time to do the preparations, you could conceivably do that.
I think I would do that then.
Okay, so you're working on that. And then last but definitely not least, Nick, what are you up to?
So Nick, now that he's out of combat, is sort of back to his normal self. And that means that for most of this, he's just watching as other people set things up.
Sure.
And finally, he's like, maybe some appropriately like trancey music or something like that. So he goes over to the arcade and sort of like turns on the sound system there loud enough that it can be heard in the food court, and presses some buttons on the jukebox in there, expecting something like like Enigma or something
Sure.
like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And Don't Fear the Reaper comes on.
Of course it does. Yes, that's the one.
And he just shakes his head and, resigned to his fate, walks back out to the ritual.
You know that's not what you pushed. In fact, it wasn't even an option.
It's not even on there.
Yeah. All right. So some time passes. You've set the trap. Each of you is ready for your role in it. And let's see.
I have a quick thought.
Go ahead.
And Jim is making an assumption based on a crass assumption based on he thinks on playbooks. But I feel as though when we do rituals, which I know that Claire and Seamus have done at least one ritual before.
Oh yeah.
Usually, but I feel as though usually Seamus looks stuff up, but lets Claire actually lead the ritual.
Sure.
Or asks Claire to lead the ritual because I think Claire is actually the one who is better at it.
Fair point. Okay.
And so that's and
okay.
Yeah, if that's okay, if Sarah, if that's okay with you, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so Claire, do you want to do the use magic roll?
Yeah.
Basically, you're all participating in this, but I think it does make sense that Claire can lead it. And given the preparation that you're making, give yourself a +1 on that as well.
All right.
Oh, well, never mind then. Okay, so you know what? If you had rolled less than that, you were all going to have some problems, but now you're not, because the thing is doing a remarkable job of both attracting and blocking the thing. However, I'm going to tell you what happens, and because all of you prepared well, and all of you, and especially because Claire rolled remarkably well, and also some other things that you did earlier in the adventure, you will all succeed at the thing you're going to do. But I want to explain to you the situation, and you tell me how you get to the point where everything works out. So the first thing that the Thaumaveor does is exactly what it did when it got hurt by Nick that first time. It releases a whole bunch of those dachshund-sized things. And by a whole bunch, I mean like dozens at this point. The floor is just undulating with the creatures. And at this number, they're making a wet chittering noise that's really loud as they approach you. The goal of the Thaumaveor was obviously to kill or distract all of you so it didn't have to go into this trap. That's not going to work. So also, Nick, you specifically can see the Thaumaveor trying to breach the reality, but actually Nick and Claire, you're the two who can see this the best. It's trying to breach into this reality, and it's the only thing it's trying to do right now after it's released all of the critters. But the ritual is, like I said, doing a really good job, if maybe slower than you'd like, of pushing it back. So let's see. I would like to actually start with Nick. Tell me what you do during this time of horrible creatures.
I think with Claire being the primary for the ritual, Nick is all about just smashing anything that gets near her. However, if given the opportunity, he wants to see if he can use the chain to entangle the creature to sort of keep it in place while the ritual is going on.
Okay. Tell you what, you tell me if this works for you, but the way I see that going is you basically just cut a path through the smaller creatures until you're close enough to the thaumaveor.
That sounds good.
Okay. So we'll get back to exactly what happens there, but that's what you're doing at this point. Let's go to Cynthia next.
Okay. So the way I understand my ghost trap, which has how I've written my notes down, it very much makes me think that like the top of the cup is the entrance to the trap.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if I point it at stuff, I can
like
suck them in. Like a vacuum, or like the ghost trap in Ghostbusters.
Yeah, sure.
I want to just sweep up as many of them as I can.
Sure. Because of the size of these things and the size of the aperture, it's a kind of a slow process, because you'll get one of them in there and then maybe a second one, and then they get clogged for a little while until the force actually like sucks them through. So you can get like a couple at a time, but you're doing it. So you are significantly reducing the number of these critters. So that brings us to Seamus. What are you doing during this time?
So, whilst I'm assisting with ritual chants, and so I'm speaking out whatever part Claire wants me to speak out. But while I'm doing that, I'm going around and making sure, as these things are trying to ooze out, shoring up the circles with like more chalk, and then occasionally I've got my watchman's.
Because sometimes they ooze over it and fuck it up. Good
exactly.
call.
So I'm like on the perimeter, circling around, chanting, carrying my watchman's flashlight, chalk in one hand, watchman's flashlight in the other, and occasionally like, these things have eyes, yes?
Multiple eyes.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, excellent. That's even better. So shining the light in their eyes if they get too far. Occasionally, if like a tentacle comes over the edge, I just sort of bash it with
fair point.
With the flashlight, and then just lay more chalk, putting down the circle, making sure the circle remains unbroken.
You will come out of this having suffered some harm, but nothing serious. Because every now and then a tentacle or a claw or a bite gets to you. But you're the one in the most danger for that. Yeah, exactly. So you're probably gonna have to buy a new jacket later. And that leaves us to Claire to bring it home. What is happening with the ghost?
She is chanting while shooting at these things with her shotgun, and
that's a nice image. I like that.
Yeah. So, but she's like lifted herself, so she's floating like about 6 inches above the floor.
Oh, cool.
So,
okay.
You're
going full poltergeist on this one. That's good.
Yeah. So she's like an inch above these creatures, and just like chanting in Latin or something in like her ancient Greek, and just like pumping the shotgun into them, and
excellent. And actually, go ahead.
I have never as a streamer said this before, as an RPG streamer, but this would be awesome to have art of this. This is such one of those moments of this scene.
And
beautiful.
Of which, Nick, you've wrapped the chain around some part of this thing that it can't shake free from, holding it until basically keeping it from pulling away until finally the ritual does its job after what seems like a couple of hours, but it probably was not that long. In fact, when you check your watches, it was not. It was less time. And your chain falls to the floor, but it's glowing more brightly than it ever has, as the thumivore is blocked from this plane. The end. However, I'm not going to keep anyone from an epilogue. What do you want to do now that now that you're standing in this area with all the stuff stacked over here,
What?
covered in slime?
What does it look like as it's? Do we see the thing as we're driving it back, or what is it?
You see 4 of the clawed arms, 2 of which Nick had bound together. And you sense that those are not the only 4 arms it had.
Ooh. And it just sort of wanders back into the rift. Is that how?
Yeah. Well, in fact, you know what? The rift closes around 2 of its arms that were still out here, but they crumble to dust before they hit the floor.
Nice.
And okay, also you hear footsteps. And Johnny says, what? Cynthia? What happened?
I think Cynthia just at this point she's probably got her shotgun out too.
Oh, totally, yeah.
She's just holding this goblet full of ghosts or whatever those things are, and her empty double barrel shotgun. So it's split open at the
right.
And she's just like, I need a fucking drink.
Nick looks towards Johnny and Nick looks towards Johnny and says, "We beat capitalism."
That's it. Unless anyone else has anything, I think that might be the best line to end this on.
Yep.
No, can't come up with anything better than that.
Thanks a lot, y'all. That was fun.
Yay!
It really was.
Hey, we beat capitalism.
Yes.
And then that's right up there with fighting God for TTRPG things to do.
It is. No, that's definitely off the bucket list. Then that's awesome. Thank you.
Really fun.
Thank you, folks, so much for doing this. This was a delight, and I'm very glad that we got to fight and defeat a magic devouring spirit of capitalism. There's a lesson in here somewhere. Hope to God someone notices. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and do our outros. And folks can say any final thoughts they've had on the session. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you, and feel free to plug whatever you like, and then and any final thoughts you have about the session, favorite moments, or what have you. I think we will go ahead and start with our keeper, Brian.
So yeah, first off, once again, I want to thank all of you for playing. I would like to thank everyone that was watching. This was great. I had a lot of fun anyway. And my favorite part about games like this is I get to be as surprised as the players. I had no idea how this was going to turn out. And yeah, it was even better than I thought it was going to be. So that was great. I think most of the stuff that I would want to plug is already over there. You can find me. I'm Veclam on most of the things, Twitter and Discord, and I am one of the hosts of the. Whoops! I almost gave the old podcast name. I'm one of the hosts of the Armor Goes Clank podcast. And so Google that. I think we're the only Armor Goes Clank. And I will be running a game here again in September. but we haven't nailed down the dates on that yet. So keep an eye on my Twitter once and Jim's Twitter for that matter, and we will let you know when that's going to happen. And that'll be a short campaign. Can I tell them what game it is?
Ooh, should we? Should we not? We're probably going to start signups. Like I'm thinking, probably next week or
Okay.
so.
Well, in that case, watch my Twitter and Jim's Twitter.
Yeah.
For more information on that, and you can maybe sign up for that game too, which I would love if you did.
Yes. Do you like
And
far-flung futuristic science fantasy? Because
I do.
Do I?
if you like that, then please keep an eye on the Twitter feeds, as there are going to be some more signups coming.
Yep. And that is it for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I enjoy playing your games very much, and I also I appreciated this one. I'm very glad whenever just because you roll so well with the stuff that we throw at you. So thank you so much for that, and also for herding us about. That's appreciated much as well. And let us now go over to James Jimbeaux.
Hi. Yeah, I'm James Silverstein. I really love today's game. Nick sort of grew from what I had originally planned. Just having the freedom to play an absolute lunkhead was delightful. You can find me in stuff that Jim's going to link. I'm an author. If you like hard-boiled detective stories that also happen to have necromancy in them, I'm your guy. I've got 3 books out. I'm working on a 4th. And you know, playing this is really inspiring me to maybe start running Monster of the Week again. We'll see what happens.
Excellent. I just love that Nick is getting a date out of this whole thing.
Same here. And fries.
And the fries as well. There is that. Any final thoughts, or are you good?
Yeah, I mean, this was really fun, and I encourage people to play Monster of the Week because it's a blast.
It is. And now let us head over to Sara.
Hi, I am Sara. You can find me on everywhere on the internet at Sara of Swords. And I am the programming director for Play Cancer Away. Follow us on Twitter. We are gearing up for our October fundraiser right now. We will have the GM schedule finalized this week and the player interest form or recruitment form out next week. So follow us on Twitter and you can sign up for games with us. We have a lot of good GMs lined up. And I forgot what I was going to say. Wow. Just totally out of my brain. I don't know what I was going to say. But it was about the game and it was something that I liked about the game. And I don't really know where I was going to go with it, but I like this game. Thank you, Brian, for running it. Thank you, Jim, for having me. And that's all I got.
Claire was awesome, by the way. And I just love that image just of Claire hovering there with the shotgun.
Yeah.
And blowing these creatures away. As promised, as advertised, we had a ghost with a shotgun.
We had a ghost with a
shotgun.
It was Chekhov's Ghost with a Shotgun.
Pretty much. It was going to happen. That was a lot of fun. So thank you so much. I do enjoy playing these with you. So thank you so much for coming and joining us for this.
Thank you.
And we're gonna go ahead and head over to Cassiopeia.
Oh man, it's been so long since I've had to think about an outro and how streaming what. I'm Cassiopeia. You can find me on Twitter at Malhadale because that's my Twitter handle. I had a whole lot of fun. I was really nice to get to play a new Monster of the Week game because I've only played a handful, and to get to play with everyone here. I think Jim's the only one I've played with in this group before. It was a blast. I liked everybody's characters but I really liked finding out how mean and terrible Cynthia kind of actually was. And I had to reel that back a little. I was like, no, you've got a heart of gold somewhere in there. It's just, I gotta find it. But yeah, this was a blast to play. You can check out my itch.io page. I just released a new 2 or 3 page RPG. It's a little hack of Honey Heist where instead of playing bears stealing honey, you're octopus pirates looking for treasure.
Chocolate. Tell them about the chocolate.
Oh yeah, and so here's the longer pitch, I guess. I was at work. We sell those, bags of chocolate coins at work. And I was like, what if Honey Heist, but chocolate coins? So obviously pirates looking for treasure. The treasure is the chocolate coins. So I don't know if you've played Honey Heist. If anyone has, you spend honey to become more bear, or have a flashback about your plan to become more criminal, because you got to keep it balanced. And so in Octopirates, you talk about one of your thrilling adventures to get a chocolate coin and be pirate, and then voluntarily giving up your chocolate coin to become more octopus, you get to eat that coin. That's how I worked that in.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for coming and playing this this delightful game. I will also just say I think that something that I was not expecting with Cynthia was just that when we were basically talking to what was the gentleman's name in the tracksuit? We learned his name. Samesh. When we were talking to Samesh, we were just basically already sort of teeing up. Yes, have you met Cynthia? Because Cynthia would make a much better contact for you than this. And then you actually then go do the scene where you go and you are you talking to Samesh's boss? And it was just, I thought, yes, no, this is very much an object lesson for Samesh about how these two different people operate. And so that was great. I loved that. Just how that worked out. But as for myself, who am I? I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. On this channel, when we have the people available, we try to do Invisible Sun on Saturday nights. We've not done that the last couple of weeks for various reasons. Last weekend, especially, being involved that my air conditioning went out, and I did not wish my computer to explode. So as that rather impedes the stream somewhat. So hopefully we're gonna try again this Saturday. Hopefully we'll be able to get some folks together and start bearing down on some of the stuff we've got left to do in the campaign. So we have, for the next week or so, we don't have much outside of that, but there is more coming. In early August, there's going to be a one-shot happening Sunday, August 7th, of the Alien RPG. Pope is going to come and run that for us. I am very excited. I have never played that before. And so I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And then sometime roughly, I think mid-August, we're going to be starting a short campaign of Cult Divinity Lost. Hollow, whom you've seen previously on this channel, he played Genesis Undone and Sunken, and 50 Fathoms. It was in that 50 Fathoms game that I was recently just reminded of moments ago when we were talking about squids and pirates. Yes, because of James's character. Because
life can grab you by the face sometimes. Yes.
So glad to have you here once again, to have life grab us by the face. So that was a delight. And so Hollow's going to be running that. And so I'm very much looking forward to that. Also, I've never played that. So that's coming up. Right now, I do have signups open for a one-shot I'm going to be running in late August. I'm going to be hosting it at least. It's A Penny for My Thoughts by Paul Tevis. It is a game about memory. It's about amnesiacs trying to help each other remember using this sort of here's a drug they're administered, lets them passively sort of read each other's minds, and kind of, as we slowly sort of in a group sort of build our histories in that as a story game, GM-less game. And so I thought it was about time to try and play that again. So signups are open for that. If you're interested in that, you can go down below and click on RPG sign up, or go to jimyesthatjim.com and click on game sign up. Beginners are welcome, as always. So when we hit the end card, we're probably going to say, we're going to probably run over and say hello to Laugh Love Lindy. I think they've been streaming for a while now, so maybe we can catch the tail end of their stream. They have an excellent Good Society game they've been playing for some time. Trooper's been running that. And so we're going to try to pop over and say hi to them before their stream ends. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we shall see you all of a sudden. Farewell.